Give it a couple seconds.
Yeah,
There.
I mean, you know, it is what it is, I guess.
What?
Why is everybody so quiet? Everybody's just like, nah, we're not gonna talk.
No,
we're just gonna.
I'm out here pool cleaning and the wind blowing, so I don't want y'all to hear the wind, but I'm about to go back inside.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
I
Hey, I'm
appreciate
trying
it,
to
man.
get some. I'm
Yo,
trying to get some of them
guys!
salmon
Oh,
off
boy.
the grill.
Hold on. Did I do it yet? Yeah, we are pre-gaming. we got pool cleaner Newark getting into the house, so this way.
Hey, salmon grilling Newark. I'm trying to get some of them salmon.
salmon.
I have no idea what that is, but okay.
You don't know what salmon is? Are you serious?
You mean salmon?
Why are you saying it like that?
Salmon,
I'm from New Jersey,
man.
so we call it salmon.
If there's
Yeah,
an
we
L,
call it salmon,
if there's
too.
an L in it, you pronounce it. All right, man.
No, some people pronounce it salmon.
No, it's
Okay.
salmon. Damn it!
Like yo,
Yeah.
Like
No, we
like
pronounce it salmon.
like saying the and tehe.
yo, like my brother's name Mega. Yo, guys, it's kind of like my brother's name Mega. You don't just say
That's
Mega.
Jim
You gotta
Carrey.
say the L. It's gotta
Tehe.
be L Mega. You see what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. Well, he says it's Legend Mega, but I
No,
don't
it's El
think it is.
Mega.
I think it's more Lame Mega or
Yo, Jack shit's like salmon.
Loser Mega, something like that. You know?
Yeah, when you say salmon, it sounds like you're serving a disease. You're not serving fish.
Hey,
at that
Don,
point.
No, actually, salmon sounds more classic than salmon. If
No,
you
it
say
does
salmon,
not.
it seems like you eat the
Salmon
bottom of
sounds
the pond.
so
type
elegant.
shit.
You
Yo,
know,
guys,
it sounds
welcome to
very-
the next
Salmon.
fishing
Sound like you
podcast.
Sound like you saying Sandman.
Exactly.
No,
Some Sandman.
no.
Don't the speed
You want
that you
some Sandman? Come on,
You,
man.
you can't say
Sandman
slow.
fast. Salmon. Salmon.
Yo,
Hey,
guys,
Salmon.
Yo, everybody in the chat, first of all, thank you for showing up early and everything like that, even though the podcast has a tendency to show up a little late. My bad, guys. We have a new guest, somebody we haven't had on here before, and, you know, I had to go and do the rundown about, you know, kind of how we do things with Next Podcast, and, I mean, you guys know the production value and all that good stuff. There's some restrictions to our guests, like they can talk at this point, but I asked them to be quiet at that point and all that good stuff. So it took a little while, but we are live. We do have two special guests. One might be more special than the other, but
No, there's just two guests.
Oh, thank you, Bob. I appreciate it.
you don't know
I
what
feel
kind of
so
special I'm
special right
talking
now.
about, Dark.
I know. I'm Special Ed. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you remember him from Crank Acres?
Yes.
Dude, that was my favorite. It was like, oh,
Hey,
I in your pool.
Hey, I go with what Newark said. We just two guests. You know what I'm saying? We just here. You know,
We're just
we're
here.
trying to help
Why
out.
can't they be special, Newark? What's going on, man? Why you hating?
He wants to take it away from
Special
Wants to
sound like
take away the special.
some mental disabilities or something. I don't know.
Newark, just because you said that, I'll let you know right now. It's salmon, all right? It's salmon. I don't know what the
That's
hell
right,
you're
damn
doing.
it.
That's right.
Salmon.
Applewood
Shit.
smoked salmon. You don't say Applewood
Salmon.
smoked salmon.
Salmon.
Come on.
Salmon. You would not come to Georgia and hear people saying salmon.
Yeah,
They would
you know,
say salmon.
I had a fly out of Georgia once, and the plane was too heavy, and they had to get pulled off. I kid you not. Like,
Wow.
Hey.
Dang.
See, I was gonna try to be politically correct at first and be like, you know what? I love you know, people
no,
from,
it was
from
just
every
luggage. What are
territory.
you guys talking about?
I was yo,
kind of lopsided too.
Don-
Luggage. They carry a lot of clothes with them.
Don,
The
you need to quiet that chinchilla down, man. It's talking over the moderator right now. I don't know what's going on here, but you need to put a gag order on the chinchilla. But
Was it kind of
snap.
hanging to the left a little bit?
But I was gonna say when it comes to Georgia and pronunciation, and shout out to, you know, everybody in Georgia, especially, you know, the ones that support my channel and everything like that. But you know, they're known for pronunciation down there, right? Like for top
Exactly.
like William Shakespeare type pronunciation.
And you know it's down south, so we draw it out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We always drawing shit out. So,
Savor
so
the
it's
moment is what
salmon.
you're trying to
Yeah.
say, right?
It's salmon. That's how we
no,
say
no,
it.
no, don't do it.
First moved to Georgia like in '96. I think that was like at the end of 8th grade or whatever, and we started my 9th grade year. It was in like Covington, Georgia.
Yeah,
And they was
that's
talking
not
super
too far.
country. And you know, me and my brother, we from Jersey. People like when they refer to me and my brother, they was like, y'all talk like white people. You like, what the hell that mean?
Wow.
Like,
Yeah, what the hell does that mean, man?
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, but Covington's not too far from me though.
yeah, I lived in Covington, Smyrna, and Marietta.
Oh yeah, all of that's right around me, man. Like maybe
Yeah.
an hour or so out. So yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh man, but
That's what's up.
yo, I got to ask you guys, whoever's like checking out the YouTube right now, what do you guys think of the overlay so far, man? I actually spent like a couple hours on this thing putting it together this time. Yo,
Yeah, it's cool.
It's cool. It's cool. As long as Dark agrees, I guess I'm good, right?
Yeah, overlay is crushing, man.
Yo,
It can use a little bit more red, right?
that's what I was thinking, but you know, I had to keep it toned down because I didn't want to lose Sonic the Hedgehog. You guys see him? My little
he's there.
my little bro. Dude, I am so pumped that this year 2 Sonics are coming out, man. We're getting a retro.
Nice.
We are getting a retro, then we're getting a brand new one. Like that every time I look at the gameplay, looks like it's done absolutely right, yo. I am so. Anybody else excited for this? Like, that's a big year, like, in my opinion.
Xbot is still holding on to the idea of blast processing. Just so you like he lives for blast processing.
Blast processing is real, all right? Just to let people know. I have mastered it with certain parts of my life. But we're not actually. That's for a different podcast, though.
Yeah, keep your personal life out of it.
Yeah.
Tell us how you really feel, Bod.
We're gonna. This is gonna be a bot testimonial tonight.
You're on trial.
Wow.
Tonight.
Wow. Well, guys, you know, we have a lot of stuff to really get into here, and anytime you see Halo, you know, in the title, you know, I want to get in and I want to start getting into these topics. You never know, Halo might be the first thing we talk about. So before we do that, in true next podcast fashion, are you guys ready to check out the intro?
Nah, I'm
Ready.
not about that life.
Yo, Dark, I'm
Oh,
about
my
to kick
goodness.
you out. Yeah. I like how, yo, Bane's fitting right in right now, man. He's just like, yo, we don't have Fusin right now. He's like, I'm going to be the golden voice and say, yeah, we ready.
We ready.
All right, guys, let's do this. Let's go. What's going on, people, and welcome to another episode of the next podcast. It is Saturday night. We have the panel together. We have a couple special guests, and of course, we have a bunch of gaming topics. Yo, first of all, I gotta say shout out to everybody in the chat. You know, the Lethal Papas, the UK Dazarus. UK Dazarus is my moderator of the year, by the way. I saw Noble Addiction. Oh Snap, It's Mel is in the chat as well, and everybody else, yo, guys, thank you for, again, coming and checking out this show live. But like I said, we got a lot of topics, and I have to go in and let you guys know who's talking today. And I'm going to start with our special guests. I'm going to get this one out of the way, all right? He is one of the 2 guys who have put down the treasure map and come over here from the Quest podcast. It is my pleasure to introduce Dark Ottemis.
What's up, everyone? Happy to be here, Bot. You always make me feel like I'm at home. Dude, I can never put down the treasure map, okay? It's always in my...
He's gripping it right now.
gripped, all right? But yeah, man, thanks for having me.
No doubt. Dark, you know what else I was going to say when I was doing the intros, man? I was going to say that the guy who feels that, you know, owning every single game on Xbox will eventually earn him an achievement, man. I believe you got just about everything on this system, right?
Yeah, pretty much, man. You know,
Holy
I pretty
crap.
much buy everything. So
Oh,
Don't
man.
worry, you'll be gifting some of them
It's
soon.
crap.
You'll be
Unless it's like an indie or something like that, then I'm like, I don't really care.
It sounds like Newark's gonna catch you in a dark alley. Like, yo, you gonna gift me
I
some
know, right? He's gonna
games?
slit my throat, dude. Just like he's ready.
Slit your
Like
throat.
run them indies.
Run them.
It was
said run 'em.
because I made that Halo 3 comment and just went downhill from there. I was just like, damn,
Yeah,
all
dude.
right.
Oh, yeah, guys, you don't even know. Like the pre-game, when we start talking before we even start flowing, yo. Of course, Dark Ottemis had to share his thoughts and opinions about Halo 3, and he might have triggered Newark. So that could be interesting once we get into the Halo topic here. But let's go next on the list, and it is my absolute pleasure. Blah, I can't even talk. See, that's how excited I am right now. This guy, of course, I've been on Quest Podcast, a couple times, 2-3 times or whatnot, and this guy has always welcomed me onto the show with open arms. He's a real intelligent gamer, and just to let you guys know, if you haven't checked out Quest Podcast, which is on Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, it might be a little late. It's a little late for me sometimes, but the show is well worth it, and a lot of it is because of this guy, Mr. MBanes.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Hey, but I appreciate that intro, man. I'm glad to be here on the next podcast. Always listening, so it's good to be on the show. Got Don and Newark here. I know, we're missing some other panel members, but I'm here and I'm loving to be here. And Bot, you always helping us out, man. Anytime we ask, anytime we call, Bot is like, yeah, I'm there. And I can't do when you ask me, I can't do anything else but say, yeah, I'm there. So I'm glad to be here, man. Glad to kick it with the chat and kick it with the panel, man. So let's go.
Beautiful. And I do want to give a huge shout out to MBanes' better half, because we were waiting on word from her, because family comes first, man. And I did kind of ask these guys a little bit last minute, maybe 2 days ago, if they wanted to come on the show. And shout out to Mrs. MBanes out there for saying, yeah, it's all good. We have we have a spot on the schedule, and he can come on. So
yeah, man, because she be planning stuff. I don't even know. I just be like, yeah, baby, I'll be there. Oh yeah, it's there. We'll do it. So she have stuff planned out. So I have to ask, is it cool? So
dude,
that's how it rocks. So,
dude, I know how it is. Trust me. Trust me. But let's go down the list, and let's introduce that chinchilla wearing fool. My lights started flickering, so you guys know what time it is. It's time to stand up, show that respect, kiss that ring. The Don.
Hey guys, the Quest podcast crew has been trying to get me to go on there for a long time, and I've always had a busy schedule. And I think they just finally gave up on the idea and they decided to show up on next instead. So congratulations to everyone over here. And, before we started the podcast, I think we should have a moment of silence for our boys at TXR. They're shutting down the show a little bit, and they're a great crew. And, somebody always
can't shut down the show a little bit, man. Let them know, like, the show, has come to the end of the road. Anybody got Boys to Men playing in the background?
Hey, we need it, man.
Yeah,
for that.
But a quality podcast, a West Coast podcast. So it might have been on a little bit later than some people on the East Coast might have liked. But they were in the gaming industry. You talk about like Maka, Randall Thor, of course my BGST brother Tim Dog. Inferno from Four Guys with Quarters, and like they would talk to Mikey Barra, Phil Spencer, and stuff like that. So their information was quality, their show was entertaining, and they are definitely going to be missed. And I am sorry that I took the mic away from you, Don. Go ahead, man.
No, you're fine. I think you said it well. I think the only way I can top that is only the good die young, right? And they ended the show on top and of their game, and if you're gonna go out, that's the way to do it. So shout out to all those guys. We game with those guys. They show up in party chats, vice versa. They're all friends of the community, and they'll be missed for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But all right, well, on that note, let's get on to the next intro here, and of course he is the self-proclaimed king of breakout in Halo 5. I call him the UWP wizard. Newark NJ.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week of Next Podcast. I'm gonna keep it short. Can't wait to get into these topics. Can't wait to chat with the special guest, quote unquote. And let's get it there.
No doubt. Ottemis, he was thinking about you when he said special guest. You know that, right?
I know.
Okay.
But it's all good.
Yo,
We'll
Newark,
get to it.
Newark,
Can we have the chat
fun,
vote?
Yo, Newark, what are you grilling again?
Did you just call me a trifling hoe?
Hey, Newark, tell him what you grilling, man. Tell him what you grilling.
Salmon,
Pink
damn it. It's salmon.
Salmon.
Thank you.
I'm not eating that.
All right, guys. Well, before we get into the topics, I do want to give a major shout out to a few people on the Next Podcast family. Of course, the Golden Voice Fuskis, which he had to he acquired a new job, and he has been working like crazy amounts of hours, trying to get in this game called Life and beat it outright, get all the achievements and stuff like that. So huge shout out to Foos. I know he will be on again, as soon as Life lets him. Shout out to Oh Snap It's Mel, who is in the chat and talking shit about me. I really do appreciate that. Yeah. But she is out peddling them cookies, selling those peanut butter cookies, which are so damn good. Hopefully her work runs smooth tonight. Again, another person who works a ton throughout the week, crazy hours. So huge shout out to O Snaps. And you guys might notice, but we're missing K Mega. K Mega, the diva of the Next Podcast, has decided to take a 2-week break.
And it makes me sad.
It was just too much to talk news and to hit the audio button, the little soundbar button to go no, and he needed a 2-week break. So huge shout out to K Mega, man. I hope you're living it up. I hope you're in one of those beach chairs somewhere, some drink with a little umbrella in it, because that's the way I picture it right now. And we can't wait for you to get back, man. But here we go. Topics. You guys want to do Halo first? Because I've been itching to talk about that show.
Yeah, we could get it there.
All right, let's do this. What was it? 2 days ago, maybe yesterday, 343 came out and announced some Halo news. For people who were wondering what was going on with Halo 5 with the Xbox One X, they announced that they will be bumping that up to 4K native resolution, I believe. I'm going to have some questions about that, but I'm going to go through what else they decided to announce as well. They announced backwards compatibility with all the Halos on the 360. So that was the Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary Edition, Halo 2, Halo 3, and Halo 4. All going to be completely backwards compatible, which I am actually kind of excited about. They announced the rest of the season pass for Halo Wars 2. And then they went into the Halo 3 anniversary and what they're going to do for that. And guys, do you know what they're going to do for that? A fucking Halo 5 playlist that you don't even know if it's going to be there like long term. Oh my goodness. Yo, I am a Halo fan. You guys know that. I think 343 has done an incredible job with the story of Halo 4, the multiplayer of Halo 5, and I'm just looking for them to bring it all together for Halo 6. But guys, when I'm not happy about something, I will let everybody know. People in the chat, people on the panel. I don't know, man. This Halo 3 anniversary shit, to me, it's not enough for what that game did for Xbox, for Microsoft and everything like that. So let's hit up our special guest first, and let's go MBanes. Yo, MBanes, with the announcement, let's go on down the list real quick. Halo 3 anniversary stuff. Are you happy with it, man?
Well, I mean, as a response to the outcry of the community, because I know a lot of people were calling for, some type of remake, some substantial remake for Halo 3. And as a response to that, I don't think it hit the mark at all. The least they could have did was go back into the collection and then redid that one, or try to put some type of 4K assets there. I don't know how much work that would have taken, but I mean that's the least they could have done. But just to throw in some maps on, I mean, I think that's kind of like y'all were crying for something, we'll just give you this. So, I mean, they could have done a lot better.
That's exactly what it felt like to me. Now, what you're talking about with the Master Chief Collection, where you get all 4 Halos from 360, right? Kind of like even light to moderate graphical improvements. Then you have the Halo 2 Anniversary, where they went back in and they kind of redid everything.
Right.
See, this is where I'm happy that they're making the other games backwards compatible. And I told Snaps that I will be picking up Halo 4 again, the 360 title, to play on the Xbox One. And the reason is, when they did the Master Chief Collection, of course they had all the maps, pretty much all the maps from all the Halos and stuff like that. But the voting system and trying to vote for, there was Halo 4 maps I wanted to play. There was Halo 4 playlists I wanted to play. There was a Halo 4 firefight I wanted to get into, which with the MCC, it was kind of hard to get into all that. So with grabbing it backwards compatible, I'll just be able to go in and you go into Halo 4, just go into the firefight and just go crazy right from there, without any type of voting or anything like that. So I'm happy for the backwards compatibility. But dude, like, don't you think the community deserved a Halo 3 anniversary?
Yeah, because I mean they could have went all out with that, right? They could have 4K'd that thing on out, and I guess this is kind of like the easy way out that they're taking. And like I said, there was a lot of people, not just you, but there's a lot of people, crying for some type of anniversary, Halo 3 type game, and I guess they just feel that it's not worth it to do it. I don't know.
Dude, it boggles my mind, because like, if you do Halo 1 and Halo 2 and the complete story is Halo 1,
it would make sense to do Halo 3, right?
Exactly, dude. Exactly. Banes, man, this is why I wanted you on the show, man, talking that common sense. Let's go to Dark Ottemis about the Halo 3 anniversary stuff, man. Are you satisfied with what 343 has kind of brought to the table with celebrating the Halo 3 anniversary?
No, I mean, here's the thing. They should have done something, with the Master Chief Collection in the first place, by making it, more of a, maybe even having Blur come in and do some, some of the cutscenes or all the cutscenes for that game, or, at least, up the graphics a little bit. Because, I mean, the textures, are so outdated for that game now. And it's just, it boggles my mind as to why they wouldn't do something really special for Halo 3's anniversary. It just, I don't get it. I just don't.
It's funny because Microsoft, Xbox, and 343, like, when you go out into social media, a lot of people tell you they're known for listening to the community. If you listen to the Halo community in general, the huge mass of people that are diehard Halo fans, they wanted a Halo 3 anniversary. Halo 3, to a huge number of the Halo community, is the best Halo in their opinion. Not necessarily mine. Not mine. See, so when I was saying, man, they should put a Halo 3 out there, I wasn't just thinking for myself. I was thinking for the community and how much they would jump on that, right? So
yeah,
I have no idea where they're coming from with this. And then in my mind, like, putting a playlist out there. Now, granted, when they say the playlist, they say classic gameplay as well. But I'm not sure if I would want that. That, to me, that tells me that they're going to take away sprinting for this playlist and stuff like that. Man, I don't know. Like, I seem to be the only one that I saw, like, on social media that was actually upset about this. Yo, Don, what do you think, man? Yo, I know you're a Halo fan. We've gone in and we've played Halo 5 a ton together. Dude, what do you think about the, what they're serving up for the Halo 3 anniversary celebration, dude?
I'm actually a little bit lost. What are they offering? So is it just a Halo 5 playlist?
Well, it's a playlist with classic maps, right? But 343 didn't even build these classic maps either. They're coming from Community Forge. Okay. All right. Now, so that's taking the heart of the Halo community. Gotcha. I love what people do with the Forge, but they can't get anywhere near like the immersion of actually having a 343 made map. You know what I'm saying?
From head to toe, because they're doing the actual modeling, the texturing. They're not just taking a bunch of random objects and sandwiching together to kind of mimic
exactly
what like the original outlet is. It's one of those things that I see all the arguments like literally like didn't want to do anything, right? At the end of the day, the game has seen its heyday. It's done well in its time and all that sort of stuff. And I see the other side where they've done all the remakes and stuff like that. And and I look back from the technical aspect, from the visual side of things. I mean I can redo that whole entire game for $500,000. Team of 5 artists. That's all I need.
Somebody give them the money.
I can redo all the assets, for that money. I can put together a team and take a year break from what I'm doing right now and technically do something like that, right? So, that sort of thing seems like very much a drop in the bucket, outside of the other, technical people you would have involved. It really wouldn't cost a whole lot. I think a lot of what we're seeing is a byproduct of a very vocal community that's out there in gaming, where Xbox gets criticized for doing remasters and remakes, and and the other side gets criticized as well for doing similar things, right? And sometimes that voice can be really, really loud, but it's not necessarily a representation of the core audience that would really enjoy that. And I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be profitable to do a remaster. I know when I look at the Master Chief Collection in general, right? The work they did on remastering 1 and 2 were good. It's not Halo 4 quality, but it was good, right?
Yeah.
Halo 4 looks phenomenal. It's still mind blowing that I was even done on a 360, and you got all that up to 4, and then you got the third one, and I said this before, it is one of the eyesores out of all of them. It is visually just not very appealing to look at, and it was really from the era of where Destiny, not Destiny, but Bungie really wasn't. They made a good game, right? But visually, they were never really the impressive game.
Yeah, exactly.
From a visual standpoint, right? Mm-hmm. They were just a really, really fun game, and it took you to a special place in a special world and storytelling. Mm-hmm. So, I can see the reason why to do it. I just don't know why they're not doing it. I kind of, to a certain degree, almost kind of don't care, because I've moved on and I'm looking forward to what the next chapter in Halo is. But who knows what the business decisions were involved in that. We're always on the outside looking in. It's interesting, to say the least. But I can't say it cost that much.
Don, when you say you don't care, I can see that for your own personal, reasoning. Like you said, you have moved on and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I have this thing where, man, I'm looking at what the community says, and I know when you get like a huge group of people together, sometimes they ask for stuff that they really don't want, and when it comes down, they really don't get it, right?
Yeah.
But with the previous 2 anniversaries, Combat Evolved anniversary and then Halo 2 anniversary. Halo 2 anniversary was the main reason, I would say, over 80% of the people that bought that game, bought Master Chief Collection, they bought it for the Halo 2 anniversary. And then everything else was just kind of like icing on the cake. It's like, damn, wow, they're really trying to go out there and give to the gamers, right? Now, it didn't work out so well. It looked really good on paper, but there was a bunch of issues with, transitioning between a Halo Combat Evolved server for multiplayer to Halo 3 server for multiplayer and stuff like that. A lot of it took a lot of time. There was a lot of drops, all that good stuff. We all know what happened with the Master Chief Collection. Like, dude, I just don't understand the reasoning. Like you said for you, $500,000, you could get a team together. For me, this would have been the completion of the anniversaries if they made one. Like, they didn't have to make another one from that because Halo 4 started a new story, a new saga, and they don't necessarily have to do that. So I am completely confused as to what the hell these guys are doing when it comes to celebrating quite possibly the biggest selling Halo out of the entire franchise, the most beloved Halo within the Halo community on the majority side of things. I think they really skimped out on their fans this time around, man.
The only thing that makes any sort of sense to me in this, and then again, just outside looking in, not really knowing, the decisions that are involved in making it all happen, but, Microsoft has always had this problem. Like, it's a good problem, right? Halo's extremely successful. It's got a huge, fan following, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's always been the franchise. Sometimes I think it's gotten in the way of other franchises being successful in a calendar year. And I think this is kind of a very crucial calendar year, not for a remaster, but for games like Crackdown. Crackdown has had some missteps. The first one was great, sold some good numbers. Some people love it. Remember that Crackdown 2 is not very favored in general. I know you like it, Bot. And I really feel, and then you also got Sea of Thieves. I think it's much more important for Microsoft at this point in time to make sure those franchises do well on their own and not be overshadowed by Halo just this one year. Because we know we're going to probably get a new Halo probably next year is my guess. And have a time for those franchises to breathe. That's the only thing I can think of.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Go ahead.
You said it would be like 500. You would guesstimate like 500,000 for like a remake.
That's the R team. So
right.
Let's say the average game artist makes around $75,000 to $150,000. So that's roughly the industry average, right? So split the difference. Just go 100,000. Pretty modest, right? You got a good talented team. That's enough, like from just the art muscle to get all the assets redone.
So just adding that to the MCC collection that they already have and making that game better, would that price be the same?
No, because that's just the art team, right? So, let's say they remaster the music or any of the sounds, right? That's going to be an additional cost, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have, the programmers to kind of make it all kind of come together, that sort of thing. I can give a bunch of assets and say, hey, you know what? Here's the different texture resolution. Here's the normal maps. Here's all the different shaders. The new meshes, all that sort of stuff, right? And it's true, and it's all scaled to size, and everything's all correct. There still has to be somebody that ports that into the engine and makes sure it doesn't crash. So, but I'm just looking, legitimately like $1 million.
Right. Okay.
But half of that's sucked up into the art team, right? So that's basically 500,000, right?
Guys, hold on, man. We're talking about. Hold on. We're talking about dollar signs here. And we're talking about Halo, man. We're not talking about a brand new IP or an indie title or anything. We're talking about a game that has a huge community. Halo 5, first 3 months, sold over 5 million copies. Like, this community is worth going the extra mile. And I hear Newark about ready to chime in, man. Newark, what do you got to say, dude?
If Halo 3 Anniversary would have came out, that shit wouldn't sell, bro. Like, Master Chief Collection left a bad taste in everyone's mouth, man. Like, I'm sure everybody played the campaign again on the Master Chief Collection. I hated the Master Chief Collection multiplayer because everything was a playlist. Like, I couldn't go click on Halo 3 or Halo 4 and just say, I want to pick Team Deathmatch or, stuff like that. That's why I hated Master Chief Collection. So the backwards compatible titles is good. And I also do that for 3 if I wanted, to hop on and play 3 or whatever. But I don't think 3 would sell, man.
All right, but check this out, Newark.
It would be a pretty version of the same game.
But Newark, check this out. I hear what you're saying. Even if I don't agree with you, which I don't, I think it will sell. I've seen the Halo community really like try to back this and say, man, we want a Halo 3 anniversary. There are so many people who are like, well, even when Halo 5 came out, they're like, man, I wish it was more like Halo 3 and all this good stuff. Like, I feel that they should have done the community that service. But even above that, right? The whole story, Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, is one story. How the hell are you going to do an anniversary for the first 2 and not give that final chapter to that one story? The kind of like polish it deserves to move forward, and then you can end your whole anniversary thing. You don't have to do it with 4. It's a brand new story, brand new era. Like, we're done with that. Like, I don't see why you would decide not to do that.
I mean, maybe because it's a 360 game. Like, I don't know. I really want to know. But the first 2 Halos was on the first Xbox, so it makes sense. And I guess I don't know. No, but Halo 2 was like the more special Halo as far as sales. Like Halo 2 was huge. It was like the most selling Halo ever. It was huge.
Halo 3 outsold it.
Halo 3 did outsell but it did.
But Halo 2 launch was insane though. Like
it was insane, definitely. But see, that's the thing. That's the thing I'm saying. Hold on 1 second. That's just the thing I'm saying. It is it could possibly be the best-selling Halo out of the franchise. All right, even if you think it won't sell well, right? That franchise has given so much to Xbox, all right? If it wasn't for that franchise, Xbox would not exist, and we all know that. Why not give the last chapter of that story what it deserves, which is an anniversary?
They send surveys. I mean, like, I'm sure there wasn't enough people asking for it, man. I'm sure the numbers are there. Like, I'm sure it probably wouldn't have been huge. You can already play Halo 3 on the Xbox One, and I guess that's what it is.
I got you. Don, did you want to say something, man?
Well, I think New York kind of chimed on a couple of things, and a couple of things I didn't think about until he said it. They're trying to distance themselves, I think, from the Master Chief Collection. I know you said
they definitely are. They don't want to touch that shit.
The problem with Halo 3, it does bring that back up, unfortunately, to a certain degree, in an indirect way. And then the other thing is, Newark is right. They do surveys, they do numbers. They don't just do things at random, right? Mm-hmm. Like Microsoft they have the analytics to decide what they're going to do, especially on an existing franchise, as far as that's concerned. Mm-hmm. And other big publishing companies have, they have analytical numbers as well, right? A lot of it, that's what, they have analytical numbers around frames per second and a native resolution.
This game is beyond numbers, man. This game's beyond numbers. This franchise, see, this is what I'm saying. A lot of people are giving me these reasons, and they're valid reasons, right? For any other franchise on Xbox, they would be valid reasons, but they are very valid
reasons. But the thing is that you did 1 and 2, and I understand the reason behind it. But if 3 ends the saga of 1 and 2, right, it makes sense to just go ahead and do 3, even if it's just goodwill. You know what I'm saying? Even if it may not sell as much, but it's goodwill for the community that's been asking for it, and it ends the saga. And then, like Bot said, you don't have to touch the rest of it.
Yeah, shout out to Kelvin Brandon in the chat. He said that Halo 3 anniversary is not needed and would pull players away from Halo 5. But Kelvin is an incredibly intelligent man. He is an intelligent gamer. I follow a lot of his posts and stuff like on Facebook. Man, he's been around for a while. Dude, what I gotta say is, guess what? They'll still be playing Halo though. All right,
ones who I'm saying the ones who want Halo 3 and they're playing Halo 3 on Master Chief Collection. They're getting their little peoples together and doing custom lobbies, and they're getting their Halo 3 treatment right now. You know what I'm saying? But if Halo 3 the anniversary would have came, I wouldn't have bought it. I'm not gonna leave. Like, how I love Halo 5. I'm not gonna go back to a slow paced Halo. I'm not. I'm not doing that shit.
No, see, I definitely, dude, I understand that. And like I said, I am not saying this exactly for me, all right? Because I get a lot of shit. I get a lot of shit whenever I talk about the past Halos. Because to me, Halo 3 was definitely not my favorite. Before Halo 5, it was Halo 2. I love the multiplayer in Halo 2. I love the story of Halo 4. I thought Halo 4's story was absolutely incredible. And then when I put that together, when I'm like 2 for the multiplayer, 4 for the story, like when I say 4 for the story, people look at me like I just grew a second head out the side of my neck. But so it's not for me, but I'm looking at what the community has wanted, and that's what I'm gonna stick with. I feel like they made a huge mistake here, that they really should have went in and gave it that kind of last salute when it came to the first story of Halo. They have a new saga going. This is quite possibly Halo 3 was the best-selling Halo out of the franchise to this day. It deserved that attention. It deserved that final hurrah.
Yeah, but we probably going to get a kick-ass Halo 6 because they didn't take their attention away from that game. Hopefully Halo 6 is worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like, hopefully.
I have a feeling it will be.
Yeah. Hopefully, they ain't take the time out to do this Halo 3 anniversary and Halo 6 just be mind-blowing.
Well, Halo 6...
Which is going to be anyway.
Well, see, you're giving me my segue to go into the next part of it, and that is the announcement of Halo 5 native 4K resolution when the Xbox One X comes out. Dude, what do you think about that, Newark?
It's much needed. There's a ton of people that still play Halo 5, and if you have a 4K TV and you play Halo 5 multiplayer, like, you will really understand where I'm coming from with this. And
he's trying to put me off to the side now because he knows I got standard HD right now. I'm just saying, like, the higher the resolution, the worse it looks. And the multiplayer is 720p, so y'all can see where I'm going with that. And it's a lot of jaggy. 4K you only AA and all of that, but I thought I'm sure it's gonna be good. Man, even multiplayer.
No, campaign is dynamic resolution. Campaign is dynamic resolution, and multiplayer is 720p, 60 frames locked. That's how they had to do it.
They're both dynamic resolution.
Well, it's dynamic 720 then, or something, because the multiplayer looks horrible, man. Well, you know what? The crazy part about it, the breakout looks worse.
Uh-oh. Did we lose?
Is he still there?
Yo. Trust me, I spent over 100 hours in that game.
Newark, you blanked out real quick, man. We didn't hear probably quite a few words of what you just said, man. Newark?
No, can y'all hear me?
All right, we hear you now. You're back.
All right, now I was saying the breakout looks horrible, but like the like team deathmatch, team arena, something like that. It looks decent.
Yo, Newark, man, you my brother from another mother, man, but I don't know you right now. I'm just saying, I don't know where you coming from with this mess, yo.
Bro,
I play on the 65-inch 4K TV, bro. Like, I'm serious. Like, breakout doesn't look as good as the rest of the game.
Man, you gotta get
and
that. You gotta get that SD tube TV, man. That's what you gotta get.
Man, I don't know, man, but I'm just saying, like, it's a jag fest, man. But I don't care because it's still, like, to me, like, one of the best multiplayers on Xbox anyway, bro. Like, that's all I play anyway, so
that's true.
I would enjoy the 4K because 90% of my gaming is Halo 5. If you see me online, you're gonna see me in Halo 5 breakout.
Yeah, no doubt.
Arenas.
No doubt. And I could definitely attest to that. This dude is a breakout fanatic. Yo, he is a Halo fanatic. Man, he might be a little quiet when he's on your team, though. That's something, man. You gotta start calling people out and stuff like that. But
I'll be in the Matrix, man. I'll be in the zone, man. Like, nothing else around me matters.
All right, well, check this out. I wanted to bring this subject to Don because I have a couple questions, man, and I hope he can answer it. I'm trying to utilize his knowledge as a developer or whatnot. Now, Don, when they say 4K Halo 5, do you think that it's just an up-res, or are they gonna go in and they gonna upgrade the textures and stuff like that, man? Do you know anything about that? Can you just drop some knowledge for us, man?
Okay, so this is not any inside knowledge or anything like that, but I'm going to talk about a couple different things. So, this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody that the Halo 5 is getting the 4K treatment. One of a couple different things. Phil Spencer was kind of asked about Halo a couple times during his E3 like interviews and stuff like that, and he did mention going to 343 and seeing the latest work they've done on the X. Okay, that's number one. Number two, about a week and a half prior to this, if you follow Phil Spencer on Xbox, right? Every time I was going through my friends list, I see Phil, and Phil's always playing Halo 5 recently, out of nowhere, right? So this sort of stuff shouldn't be a surprise. We all know he has an X development kit at home and all that sort of stuff that he plays on. So he's probably playing builds of this 4K treatment that we're seeing right now, or they're talking about right now. Now, adding a 4K buffer with the additional power of the X, it would take some work, but at the end of the day, the X can do it, not even sweating it, right? And realistically, I think they're adding 4K assets, which to the actual game. I don't think it's just 4K resolution, because otherwise, if they just said, "Hey, I can have a 4K frame buffer," they would have just if that's all they had to do, I think they would have done it at E3.
So from what you've seen from your friends list, which it does make sense, man, because a lot of times you'll see on social media somebody took a picture of something that Mikey Barrow is doing, and it's like, oh, are they doing an upgrade to the dash because he's over here and stuff like that. That is a good way to kind of see things, but don't jump the gun really.
Yeah.
But so you feel like they're gonna go in and kind of do the 4K like assets like in the game.
The assets have already been done. They've been done years ago.
Yeah, well, what you told me is they make the textures and everything as high as possible, and then they scale it down to fit the game, right?
Exactly. So that's what people don't realize. So now you have a lot more RAM to work with, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot more GPU grunt, and you have the bottlenecks out of the CPU taken out of the equation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most likely will be 4K with dynamic resolution. I would guess so, unless there's such a high percentage, which seems like the Xbox One X does have, as far as overhead is concerned, that it may not ever really dip, or if it does dip, it's like it dips once every 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's next to nothing compared to what the original title did. So that's kind of where I go with that. In regards to it, doesn't surprise me. I don't think it should be a surprise to anybody, to be totally honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
And but it is, I think, the best Halo out of all of them. It gives it that extra bit of legs till the next version comes out. And I'm one of the few people that enjoys the campaign in that game and enjoys the multiplayer equally as well. Nice. And I'm excited to get another crack at the campaign again. Cool. Legitimately, with the 4K nail polish on it, if you know what I mean. So
yeah, definitely. Well, Don, here before we get over to our guests, because I definitely want to hear their opinions on the 4K. You said something about giving Halo 5 more legs, and we kind of touched on Halo 6, with the last topic and stuff like that. My feelings. I feel that they need to come out with Halo 6 next year and show that they can do the epic story with the multiplayer that they have developed with Halo 5 and come with such a complete package that it's just overflowing with Halo-ness, if that is a word. If not, I just made it up. Now with this whole 4K announcement with Halo 5, is there what is your thought on a possible Halo 6 release? Does it look more towards like 2019, if you had to take a guess, man, as opposed to next year?
No, I don't think it's going to affect the release date of what they had planned for Halo 6 at all, period. In regards to that,
I'm not talking in development time. I'm just talking that they figure that if they do this bump, if they give it this nail polish that you said, like they can literally go into 2019 before releasing the next iteration of Master Chief's story here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can, but I think all that stuff, it's all roadmaps. It's all been planned out ahead of time, right?
We're trying to guess about it, man. We're trying to get the roadmap.
Halo 5 is coming out next fall.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It's every 3 years.
Halo 6. My bad. Halo 6 is coming out next fall.
Yeah, it's always been on a 3-year schedule. That's what they do. They give it 3 years, which is plenty of time. People act like 343 is a bunch of rookies. No, they're probably some of the most experienced people in the industry.
They're Bungie. They're the Bungie team that when Bungie left in 343, those were 343 is made up of a whole bunch of ex-Bungie employees.
Yeah, well, ex-Bungie employees and then diehard Halo fans like slammed together.
Well, not only that, but MVPs in the industry, even better. So we're looking at God of War gameplay. At least I am right now when we're watching next year, right? I know one of the artists that actually works on the Halo series right now. He's the guy that worked on God of War on PlayStation 3. So he did a lot of the background artwork and things like that, and he's working on it. So he could have gone anywhere, right? Like he worked on a big enough franchise, but he chose to go to work at 343 because it's Halo. So these are veterans. These guys have shipped multiple games. These guys know what they're doing at 343. Mm-hmm. They have a roadmap. If they choose to delay a game, it's either to make it better, or there's some churn or some sort of churn they want to do in the story or whatever. Maybe they'll do that. But at the end of the day, it's really a 3-year cycle. That's what you should be expecting, because that's what the history has told us so far.
Nice.
With this team. So
nice, Don. Yo, I appreciate the breakdown, and man, that's perfect placement when it comes to the gameplay and the topic we're talking about. No, I don't think anybody would have put together, God of War 3 and like Halo, but there was a link there, man, and you grabbed it and you showed everybody, man. I really, really do.
It was scripted. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, you guys don't know, man. I give out like a 50-page script. I make sure the panel has it memorized week by week. I am a slave driver. No,
hey, y'all cheating me. I need that script.
No, we don't do it for the guests, man. You got free for it. But, speaking of guests, Banes, what do you think about the whole 4K thing with Halo 5? Are you excited about it? And I got to ask you as well, after you answer that, do you think that with them doing this, they might be trying to buy some time for the Halo 6 release into possibly 2019 instead of next year?
Well, no, I think Halo 6 is coming next year.
I love this panel today, by the way. You guys are making me so happy.
As far as the 4K assets, I mean, I didn't even think that was news. This is another one of those topics where I was like, okay, well, I already figured that was going to happen. This is a flagship game, so of course it's going to get the 4K treatment. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we would have all been looking cross-eyed if it didn't. So, yeah, man, I'm ready for it. And as far as another thing too, I want to ask Newark. You always playing Breakout. Like every time I get on, man, I cannot get a game on Breakout. Like, what am I doing wrong?
Well, you when you go to before you select what mode you want to play, I think at the top you can select what type of play style, like balance is based on like what type of people you want to play with.
Yeah.
Based on your connection and your rank and all of that.
Okay, I guess I gotta delve more into the menus then, because I can never get a game on that, man. I always
you
try.
You can select a mode to find the first available match, but those like that mode right there. There's a whole bunch of rookies, and like by the third round, most of them quit because they losing. So.
Okay.
So hold on.
But yeah, man, as far as the 4K treatment, I think it's I did not expect it not to happen. You know what I'm saying? So they're doing what they're supposed to do. Yeah.
So do you think they're gonna do the full 4K upgrade, like going into the textures and stuff like that, or do you think it's just gonna be a native upres to 4K?
Nah, I expect 4K assets, meaning textures and everything, draw distance. Man. You know what I'm saying? All of that. That's what I expect.
Yo, not for anything, Banes, after the announcement of what they're doing to quote-unquote celebrate Halo 3, they better give Halo 5 that complete 4K upgrade, man. Otherwise,
I'm telling you.
Microsoft want 4K assets for everything because they trying to let the games do the speaking. They trying to smack everybody in the face, man, to show them what this box could do.
Yeah, so, well, not only that, but having the 4K assets there also helps with like having the games both on PC and the Xbox One X as well. So like
Right.
Well, the multiplayer is on PC, so that'd be good.
it would make sense that would be what they were pushing. Not only that, that's what makes the games look better. Like I understand, native 4K is a huge jump from HD. I definitely understand that. All right, so it is going to make the games look better. But when it's all said and done, native resolution can only do so much. That's why me and my brother Zaire over on BGST, we are in complete agreement that with the Xbox One X, the biggest feature is the upgrade in textures and lighting and shadows and all that good stuff. Having the power to upgrade all those things is what makes the One X worth it. But it's surprising, man. Ottemis has been incredibly quiet. I don't know what's going on here. Ottemis.
That's because I don't have anything to really put on it, because you guys have made so many good points about Halo 5, getting the 4K upscaling, well, the 4K textures and 4K resolution and everything like that. I think it'll be a good thing. I think everybody's waiting for it and hoping for it, and I'll have to agree with Newark. I think we'll see Halo 6 next year.
So, well, see, Dark, here's the thing. I have been known to be at least a decent moderator when it comes to podcasts, and I'm gonna twist up the question to you a little bit. All right. If by 4K, right, 343 is only talking about an upres, a native upres, just giving the game an overall native 4K and not going into the textures.
Resolution.
How would you feel about that, man? Like with what we were talking about with Halo 3 and everything like that, would that be acceptable to you, dude?
I mean, it'll still look good, but will it be acceptable? No, not necessarily, because the textures need to have that also be looking good as well, because the resolution isn't really going to do much. The 4K resolution's going to do what it can do to make it look a little bit prettier, I guess. But that's about it. It's not really going to do much to the game to make it look, to really make it pop.
To go with the nail polish thing that Don said, to just do the upres is like putting a clear coat over your nails. I mean, it looks a little shinier, but it still looks like a freaking nail. But we want them to go in with the bright green nail polish and glitter and make that shit shine, man.
I mean, a higher like 4K, you don't need anti-aliasing neither. That eliminates all jaggies right there. So, and Halo 5. Like I said, Breakout, it's a jag fest.
See, the thing you're seeing in Breakout a lot of times is actually the reflection map they use is a much lower resolution than the actual the rest is displayed. So that reflection map doesn't have the anti-aliasing. It's got the distortion of being a low resolution reflection, right? And that reflection is everywhere in those sort of maps, right? So that's, I think, more of what you're seeing there, Newark, and then you are seeing some sort of horizon sort of jaggies.
Because you don't see that on like Deathmatch and stuff like that. Like Breakout, it stands out a lot on Breakout.
Yeah, it's that surface they do on those sort of maps it gives it that look.
Now, Newark, do you think it's because you were playing it on a 4K TV? Is that why you think you're seeing all these jaggies and stuff?
Nope, I have a 1080p TV in here also.
You still see it? Okay.
Yeah, I still see it.
Right. I guess that's something I really don't pay attention to, because I have a 4K TV in the, you know what I'm saying, and whenever I can get a game for Breakout, I really don't notice jaggies that much.
Well, I apologize, because now you're going to be looking for them because I brought it up.
Exactly, right? I'm going to see them, right?
Well, that's the thing with graphics. People pick up on different things, right? So some people pick up on native resolution better than others. Some people can pick up on frame rates better than others. Some people, it's texture resolution. Certain things kind of stand out to different people, right? Mm-hmm. And it's always like this weird finite balance when they ship a game of hitting all the checkpoints as best as they possibly can, because you always have a fixed box of what that box can do.
And that's an interesting point too, Don, because I guess for me, when I'm looking at a game, I'm looking more about, I don't want pop in. Like that's a big thing for me. I hate pop in, and then I like draw distance. You know, I like to see in the distance. I want that to be clear. So maybe I'm not looking for, you know, other things, and so they don't pop out to me unless somebody says something about it. So that's an interesting point.
Nice.
I might add also with Halo 5, like as far as the campaign, like a lot of people won't believe it, but the campaign actually has some of the best visuals on Xbox One, man.
It does.
Like
it does.
I've taken like insane amount of screenshots. Like the attention to detail is crazy.
But the lighting in that campaign is awesome.
The lighting is amazing. You know, when I did my Halo 5 review, that was one of the things I absolutely cheered, right? But see, the reason why I'm getting into whether or not they're doing the complete 4K package is because when Halo 5 came out, there's a like 2 missions where it's basically just walking around. One of them is on a glassed planet that got kind of like re-civilized afterwards. You know, people came in and started colonizing and stuff like that afterwards. So you're walking on a glassed planet. And I'm sorry, guys, if you don't know what a glass planet is, the Covenant had this crazy weapon in spaceships that basically just melted all organic life and minerals together into one kind of glass type thing, and they would glass an entire planet, right? Now, the textures on that planet when you were walking around, no, they were really, really low resolution textures.
Yeah, man. The ground ones.
No, you talking about what you're talking about. I was talking about Halo 5 textures on the campaign are like they are amazing. Now, if you also look at the guns used in the campaign, it's like with the multiplayer, it's night and day. You know what I'm saying? Even with the character models.
All right.
But hopefully the assets we could get is campaign and multiplayer look exactly the same. I'll be happy.
You need to go back to those levels and look at the ground. I'm not talking about all the level, but just the ground texture.
Levels. The walking levels, because it's very low res. They were very low res. And see, this is the thing. I want to know if they're doing that because I want to go back and experience it the way that the developers saw that planet. Because if you're into Halo lore, if you're into Halo games and stuff like that, a glass planet is mind blowing, right? And one of the things when they said that they were going to have a glass planet in Halo 5 in the story, that was one of the things that got me really hyped because I wanted to be able to look around on what that would actually look like. And they even talked about a glass planet in the promos leading up to Halo 5. When they were doing that kind of like radio promotion type thing, that episodic thing, the main character was actually on the glass planet looking through a factory that was buried under that melted organic and mineral kind of like deposit that, you know, the Covenant basically melted with their weapon. It's something that, you know, crazy Halo fans wanted to see. And I felt like they got a little bit let down because it was such low-res textures, ground textures, right? Because you're supposed to be standing on glass. You know what I'm saying?
I see Don looking at the ground now on Halo 5.
Well, I was looking, man. That was one of the things that, like, and I even put it in my review. I was like, the couple missions where you're walking around, there are low resolution textures, you know, on the ground. It did take away from the immersion a little bit for me. I still gave the game a 9 out of 10 because it deserved it. You know what I'm saying?
But like if you on one of them levels where they got mountains and stuff and you just walk up to like the bricks, like it's insane, man. Like the details in the textures are amazing.
Yeah, dude.
The character models is nice.
I agree with you on all that, man. I'm pointing out that one fact, all right? That one thing. And I might be nitpicking here, all right? I might be nitpicking, but if they're going to go in and they're going to upgrade those assets like that into 4K assets, I am excited for this update, and it doesn't necessarily make up for what they did for the Halo 3 anniversary celebration, but it does put a pillow, you know, on my landing as I'm falling right now. You know what I'm saying? So that is what it is. Yo, Ottemis, do you have anything else to add about like this whole 4K upgrade to Halo? Because, you know, once you do that, we are going to move on, and I'm going to let Don take the reins here. So what do you got for us? Anything else, Ottemis?
No, man. I mean, you guys touched on some really good points.
We killed it before we got to you, man. I know.
Yeah, pretty much. You guys were just killing it, and then I was just like, oh, okay.
Hey, one member request speak. We speaking for both of us. So.
Oh damn!
Speak for yourself. Damn it.
Oh wow! I'm trying to help
Damn, the
you
backfire.
out. I know,
No,
right? I'm trying to help you out.
my quest brother.
Damn, whenever I hear something like that, yo, especially on Xbox Live Party Chat, I say hot sauce. Like, yo,
I'm
that's
telling
straight
you.
hot sauce right there, yo. But yo, moving on, yo, the Don has been pretty active on Happy Little Polygons, the YouTube channel that you know he created, and he actually brought out multiple videos the last like few weeks or whatnot. This past video was really interesting, and Don, if you don't mind, I actually want to like hand over the reins to you. It's called what basically loose translation. We need transparency in gaming. Now, can you let the chat know exactly what you were talking about with this video, and then we'll go into the conversation with the rest of the panel and see what they think about your opinion on this, man.
Yeah, I'll give a quick sum up of what the video's at. If you guys want to check it out after the podcast, I'll give you directions how to get there and all that sort of stuff. But
three rights make a left, by the way.
Exactly right. The video was spawned by by all the latest controversy, which was Anthem, right? And with Anthem, the same gameplay that was shown on Xbox's stages that was said to be running on the X showed up on PlayStation's YouTube channel, and there was a very bad edit with the button prompts where they overlaid essentially PlayStation button prompts.
Yeah, Don, I could have done a better job than what they did, man.
Yeah, well, we all know, right? But the left and right bumper was phased out, right? And obviously an uproar happens. It definitely stirs up the fans of one side versus the other, and a little bit of headbutting. And then just prior to that, we had the controversy about Crash Bandicoot, right? And is it native 4K 60 frames per second? No, the game's not. It's 1440 and it's 30 frames per second natively. And then we also, and I wanted to be non-partial as much as possible. So I threw in the Witcher controversy as well, right? Which was gameplay captured on PCs. It was uploaded on Xbox channel. In later Xbox apologized. Now the whole point of it.
And before that, there was a Final Fantasy issue on the 360 as well, right?
Oh, there's numerous. Those are just the ones I picked because it illustrated two platforms where the controversy happens on both sides, right? And illustrates another part of the industry, which is the media. As much as I don't like to acknowledge like IGN is in existence, it is, right? And there's a common theme outside of like the major fans kind of butting heads about these sort of things, which I kind of clued in on is I think customers are the reason why these cause so much turmoil and so much problems. It's not just the mega fans on both sides. It's also the people that they're not invested in that way. They're just invested in the sense they bought a piece of platform. They bought a platform, right? And they want to know what the game is going to do, right? And I think the customers are looking for like a form of transparency out there. And there's a reason why when these sort of situations happen and they kind of rise to the top and get this kind of like this boiling point, it's not just fan base that gets upset about these situations. It's just the general gamer in general. And that was kind of the legits of what I was trying to explain on there. I'm going to pass on to the bot so you can kind of narrate, from here. But, it'd be interesting to see what your guys' takes is on this, not just mine.
Well, let's start with Newark. Newark, first of all, what did you think about the controversy? Did you kind of jump on the boat and start trying to point fingers this way and that way? I know people were trying to point fingers when it came to Anthem. They tried to point fingers at Sony because it was their YouTube channel or whatnot. Then there was people saying, no, it was EA doing it. But with seeing the history, throughout the gaming industry when it comes to this gameplay footage and stuff like that, like, how did you take what was going on with Anthem and such, man?
I didn't blame. Well, they were trying to say EA, but come on, man. Like Sony don't review videos before it's being posted on a YouTube channel. I also remember even a while ago, at the beginning of this generation, it was like a screenshot of Forza that was being pushed as being Drive Club.
Yeah, on,
if y'all don't remember,
I think it was PlayStation's. There was an Arabic PlayStation Facebook page, and they were putting up pictures of Forza, and they were trying to say it was Drive Club. I remember that, dude. I was in Bang Bang at the time. Like, I remember that.
Yeah, but it happens, man. Maybe it was an error, but I don't know. Maybe they was trying to fool their fans. Who knows, man? But I don't. It happens.
The main thing about it is if it's an error, and I would side on the fact that it's an error, and maybe it was footage given to them from EA that they just didn't comb over well enough. Even if that's the fact, then they should come out and say, "Hey, look, this was an error on." They should come out and own it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying, and apologize for it. Even if it may not have been an error on their side. They were just using footage that was pushed to them. You know what I'm saying? They should at least come out and take ownership of it. And that's the only thing, and sometimes and that kind of deals back with the transparency issue too. You want to own whatever is uploaded on your channel. You know what I'm saying? Just own it. Come out and say, "Hey, we apologize. We realized this was footage that we may not have combed over, like we were supposed to, and whatever else." Because I think Rand said you have to think like this would not be indicative of footage of gameplay that you would see on the PlayStation 4 Pro, and not to get into any, to say the one whatever's better than the other. We know what's better than what, but it wouldn't be indicative of footage that you would see on the PlayStation 4 Pro. So it's altogether a false. So you just need to come out and own it, and say, "Hey, look, we apologize," and then just let it be that. But they didn't do anything. They just took it down.
Nothing. They just took it down, and it's like, well, what existed?
You know what I'm saying? And in any instance where this happened to Microsoft, they would come out and own it and say, "Hey, this happened, but we apologize," and then we move on. You know what I'm saying?
Let's take it a step further. Though. If you buy a PS4 Pro, right, you want to know what that console can do, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
You don't want to be sold a false set of goods, right? You already invested in the piece of hardware. You want to know what's gonna play like on that piece of hardware. I think that's what most gamers want, right? They invest in this, and we can go even further back as Watch Dogs, right?
Dude, I was just thinking
the Division
Watch Dogs,
too,
man.
The Division also.
The Division as well. So like these issues, and what the problem is, it affects the trust of the gamer in whatever outlet it is. It may be a studio trying to sell a game or a publisher, and then we can even take the Crash Bandicoot thing, right? Like take all the fan war stuff out of it, right?
Right.
If you're a customer of IGN, and if you go to their site, you are a customer. So everyone should keep that in mind, right? When you go to IGN and you watch a video, and let's say you feel like you were misrepresented something on their site, right? Your moment of trust in the industry, right? That portion of the industry is broken, right? Mm-hmm. You start questioning not only IGN, you start questioning other media outlets and what other media outlets say. Your trust is broken. And so I guess that's the main thing I want to drive home is these situations is, do you think that the gamers losing their trust with everybody that's involved in these situations? And don't you think the gamer deserves a little bit more?
Don, Baines, if you don't mind, I just want to say something in here, and then you could definitely answer him right after this. Don, you make a great point because I've been trying to watch a show on YouTube called The Know, right? And I am on the verge of making a video about this YouTube channel for gaming news or whatnot because they are completely biased, man. And I've seen it time and time and time again. And when they talked about, the Anthem situation, they said about, when they found that the button prompts or the button display for the Xbox One was kind of trying to be shadowed out, and they were putting the PlayStation ones over it. one of the guys, I believe Mooch hates him. I forgot his name, but he was like, "Wow, people have so much time on their hands to go through frame by frame and find this." And it's like, well, dude, we wouldn't have to if you did it. You know what I'm saying? If the gaming media went in and really kind of looked into this stuff, did their research, did, you know, what we feel they should do, being quote unquote big gaming media, it's kind of left up to us, you know, people on YouTube, gaming enthusiasts, to go in and check this stuff now, because I think there is a big loss of trust when it comes to people within the industry, man.
Man, it only takes 5 seconds to figure that out, right? It's the only area where there's any sort of clue if it's one piece of hardware or another, right? Where they have that button prompt. And all you have to do is rewind it, pause, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Till you see it, and if it's not there, it's not there, and if it's there, it's there, right? You know, that, I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. And yeah, you know, and I noticed a couple people in the chat are just like, well, I'm living a dream. Well, I don't think it's a dream to have a customer to, you know, have a clear expectation of what's presented to them. I don't
it
think
shouldn't be a dream to have.
It's not a bad dream to have if
Right.
it is a dream, right? I mean,
it shouldn't be a dream for everybody who's categorizing themselves as a journalist to expect them to have journalistic integrity,
Exactly.
right? That should not be a dream. And as a journalist, you should do these type of investigations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that's how it used to be way back in the day. Why shouldn't we ask for that now?
Exactly, exactly, Baines. Go ahead, Don.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone should just get a pass too, either, right? Like, once the trust has been broken, you got to earn that back, right?
Right.
And that is damaging to gaming in general when these situations happen, right? You know, more and more gamers have distrust for particular outlets or whatever, and they have these questions and these sort of things. They're less likely just to spend money on something, right? I mean, that's just what it really comes right down to it. And I'm looking at these situations from my own, I am my own, independent developer, right? So when I'm starting presenting stuff of my game, right, I have to be very clear. Is it an engine? If it's not an engine, if it's running on a piece of what platform it's running on or what it's not, right? Because, at the end of the day, I'm going to make my game as best as I possibly can, right? But the same token, I don't want to overpromise something and get people excited and then have people get upset at me later, right?
And to that point, Don, real quick, let me interrupt you real quick.
No,
to that point, at E3, why don't they just have like the system sitting out and somebody actually controlling it, playing the game, so nobody will have any type of, they won't think that, oh, was this an engine? Was it a PC? Was it this or whatever? You could say, no, this was the said console, whether it be PS4 Pro, whether it be Xbox One X, PS4, Xbox, Xbox One S, you know what I'm saying? Just have the console out there and actually playing it. So, and that's your transparency right there. This is actual gameplay.
The problem is
most of the time it's not even most of the time it ain't even somebody playing it.
Exactly.
It's a video, so
and that leads to your transparency right there. Like, the whole industry is trying to throw a veil over something that they shouldn't. They should not. They should just have the console out and have somebody playing it, so nobody would have anything to say. They would be able to say, okay, this was I saw him controlling whatever it was right there, and that narrative could be killed right there. And like I said, that's regardless of whether it's PS4 Pro, Xbox One X, Xbox One S, the vanilla PlayStation, whatever it is. If they have it right there, then that narrative is done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally hear what you're saying, and that's kind of where I'm coming from too. Like, I'm going to get Dark involved in a little bit more in this conversation as well. So let's Dark. You saw the Crash Bandicoot footage, and you saw what IGN labeled it, and then people were upset because they weren't talking about what the game was running natively, which was 1440 at 30 frames per second. Would you think the PlayStation even crowd be upset if they were just upfront with what it was? Because it was a better resolution than the base model. The base model was running good, and you have the Pro running even better. Mm-hmm. Why even bother covering that up? It is what it is. I mean, I don't know. Tell me your take on that.
Well, I think the thing is that, you know, since it is at 1440p, you know, and they didn't come out and announce that at the beginning, you know, I think, you know, that's really what upset a lot of people. But I think if they, like you said, you know, came out and said it right straight from the beginning, said, hey, you know, it's 1440p, 30 frames per second, and on the, you know, on the Pro or whatever, and it looks great, then I don't think people would have had much of a problem with it. I think, you know, for something like that, for Crash, it you know, the game is a platformer, so you know it's gonna look good regardless of what I think. You know, especially since it's such an older, you know, it's an older game. I mean, yes, granted, it is an absolute, you know, full on remake. You know, they put in, you know, textures and all that and made it, you know, look really good and stuff. But I think if they, you know, it's the same thing with, you know, you guys talking about Anthem and, you know, them almost kind of, I don't see it as being a mistake on maybe EA's end. I think it was more of like Sony kind of wanted to show that, hey, we got the game too, and it looks as good as it does on the Xbox One X. And it's like, no, dude, it doesn't. At least I don't think that it's going to.
Well, yo, no, you're definitely entitled to your opinion, man. And I can at least partially agree with you. What I think Sony wanted to do with this gameplay footage, I feel like they wanted to get gameplay footage as fast as possible. They might have hounded EA to give them gameplay footage since it is going to be a multi-plat. It's like, you know, we already got the deal. The game's coming out on our platform. We need gameplay footage. And the reason why is they didn't want what was shown at E3 on Microsoft's conference to really, I guess you could say, get out of hand in their mind, that this would be just presumed as an Xbox exclusive, which a lot of people were actually presuming it was an Xbox exclusive. And they're like, no, man, we got to get this gameplay. We got to put it out there on our YouTube channel. Let people know this game is coming out on our system as well. I feel like, because I try to put common sense into, you know, thinking about this stuff, because a lot of times we won't even get the right answer into what was going on. And I think that was another good thing with, you know, with the Don's video and talking about transparency, is even when this stuff comes out, like, you know, we want like Sony to come up and say something. We've seen Microsoft come up and admit things and stuff like that. And we need that if they're going to gain our trust back, which, you know, they have done a really good job this generation of kind of dismantling that in a lot of ways. I mean, you have your extremists, you have your fanboys on both sides of the platform, that, you know, both sides of the gaming industry, that no matter what, their preferred piece of plastic does no wrong. But when it comes to the mass majority, you're going to have to earn their trust back. And the only way to do that is to be upfront and honest. And when something happens, when there's a debate, or when something is shown, like the Crash Bandicoot thing, or like the Anthem thing, you need that company to come out and say, you know what, yeah, we got you. We know you want to see this game running on the you know, the system you own, the system you want, the system that we are providing for you. So here is this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think more it's a cultural thing, man, because I think more so, you know, culturally, that's just not something that they do. You know, they don't come out and admit mistakes. You know what I'm saying? They don't come out and like take ownership and stuff like this. They kind of just move on and glass it over and then go on to the next thing. I think that's a cultural thing.
Well,
it's not.
That's I think also a relationship thing too.
Yeah.
Between EA and Sony, right? Regardless of who's, you know, to blame, right? And I don't really care. I honestly don't care who it is. Like, I'm an Xbox guy and I still don't care, right?
Right.
You know, but I think the reason why no one's really going to throw anyone else under the bus, right? They just wanted to kind of give it not much weight and kind of move on, right? And I think that's what you're ultimately describing. But I think a lot of times offering the olive branch and just being
exactly that's what we expect.
Customer base. I think there's a lot of respect that can be gained there. And yes, there will be noise between like the extreme fan bases on both sides when you do that. But at the end of the day, you're speaking to the person as an individual when you do that, right? And I think individuals can appreciate that sort of thing.
And that's goodwill too, Don. That's goodwill. Yeah. That's saying that, you know, I made a mistake. So when you say that, I'm like, okay, I'm more interested then, because I know then you're showing me some type of vulnerability. Like, okay, cool. Like, you actually have a soul. Like, you care. Oh, you're admitting that you made a mistake. So I'm good. You know, I'm good. That'll make me more interested in you instead of less. And I think they miss that sometimes.
You know, yo, Baines, going back to what you said about it's a cultural thing. You know, I understand what you're saying. I'm gonna go a little more hard edge on that. You know, you can be from a certain culture, but when you start selling a product worldwide and you start taking
I agree with you.
Other cultures' currency, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree with you, man. I really do.
When those other cultures are putting the food on your table and stuff like that, like you got to think outside the box a little bit.
You got to cultivate your message to reach that culture. Also, you got to keep them in mind. I do agree with you.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, guys, yo, that was a really good conversation, and like the Don said, yo, definitely check out his video on Happy Little Polygons, a YouTube channel. I believe you'd be able to track it down. You know, when you click that Twitter link down there, I believe he should also have a link to his YouTube channel. Do you have that in your description, man, on Twitter?
I think I do now. I think I've updated all that stuff, so you should be able to see all that sort of thing. So, but it's just Happy Little Polygons. Just hit me up. Yeah, my YouTube channel is on there. You just click it. It's all good.
Yeah, but do that after the show, though, all right, guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, make a mental note, write it on a sticky pad, do something. But I feel like we need to move on, and we're gonna move on to a game that Snaps has been eyeing ever since she has seen Mikey Barra playing it on Mixer, and maybe even before that. I don't even know. And we are talking about PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. It's a very, very highly anticipated game. It was being played in kind of like I guess you could say in a preview program type aspect on PC.
Early access.
Early access, and I think it has like over 4 million.
Yes.
Over 4 million sold on that, so it's doing really well in the PC space. And of course, they have announced that it is coming to Xbox One. Here's the thing. The developers of PUBG, which that's what I'm going to call it because the name's just incredibly long, so I'm going to call it PUBG from now on. They intended this game to have a 6-month kind of like preview program, early access cycle before it was officially released. The dev came out and said, guess what, guys? That's not going to happen. The more that they try to put it together as a fully fledged game, the more that the devs are like realizing that they're going to need more time with it. Now, the good news is it's still like slotted to release in Q4 of this year. All right, so Q4 of this year, it should still definitely be out unless a huge hang up comes out. But first off, I'm not a PC guy, and our panelist, Mr. El Mega, who usually he dabbles in PC and stuff, he's not here to really go in on the PC side. But I wanted to ask the panel, and I'm gonna start with Dark. First of all, like, are you excited for PUBG, and do you think that this delay on the PC side will possibly delay the console version coming out on X1 in the future? I don't believe they did a release date on it, but like behind closed doors, devs have like this certain idea of when they're releasing certain games on platforms and stuff like that. Do you think that this news kind of like might have pushed back the X1 release, man?
I mean, I'm excited for the game to be on Xbox because I've been playing on PC, and it's a fun game. I think a lot of people are really going to get into it. I think, there's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to buy it day one and have a lot of fun with it. And of course, I'm going to buy it day one on the Xbox One X when it comes out. And I think, the reason why they kind of did this delay, I think they were kind of, thinking about the Xbox One X in a way a little bit here and there. They were like, well, we don't really have the controls down yet for the Xbox One. version of the game. So we're going to kind of have to maybe go back to the drawing board and do that. And I think really what they want to do is take it out of early access before it comes to the Xbox One X. So I think in terms of them, prolonging it to, I think, another 3 months or something like that, they were saying, I think it's just going to be a benefit for the rest of us. They're adding more maps, they're adding more guns to the game, they're adding more specialty stuff to the game that you're not going to get. They're adding another first person only mode. They're just adding a lot of stuff to the game that isn't in the early access build of the game. So I think at the end of the day, you should be happy that they're kind of delaying it, because it kind of shows that, hey, they're going to take their time to really get this thing polished, so that when it does come out for the console, that it will be really good and optimized for it. So
nice. Well, Dark, I'm glad to hear that we have somebody on the panel who has been playing this game on PC. I do have a question. Snaps is really excited for this game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she got into Counter-Strike back in the day. Now, I'm not sure. Have you ever played Counter-Strike on the PC?
Yes.
All right. Now, does this game, PUBG, now I know there's differences between the two titles, but I got to ask you, in terms of what this game could potentially be, does it feel like possibly a Counter-Strike for this generation of gamers?
I think it could be a Counter-Strike for the consoles, yes. Okay. I think, PC-wise, Counter-Strike is always going to be probably the top of the line for a lot of people, because, they love CSGO and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I think PUBG will be definitely something, that brings this kind of game or this kind of gameplay to the consoles that people haven't played before or haven't even experienced before. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people are going to be surprised and excited and are going to have a lot of fun with it.
Nice, man. Just so that the devs out there for PUBG know you should hire this guy to promote the game, because he is doing a great job right now. Dark, I have one more question. See, what we're gonna do is we're gonna kill this topic before I move on to everybody else. Kind of like what happened in reverse to you. Past, right? All right. Now, with them delaying this, but it is in an early access program on PC, what do you think the odds are of this game actually coming out on Xbox with their early access program?
I don't think it's going to come out on early access through Xbox.
No chance?
I think I don't think they're going to do that. I think they really want to bring it to a full-fledged, console release. I think they want to make sure that's why I think they're taking their time to come out with it. And I don't know if it's going to be $29 still. I think it might be a little bit more than that. But I think it's a smarter move for them to, right, like Newark said, smarter move for them to come out with it full release on the consoles. The console.
Dark, what you didn't realize, Newark is our local, he's our telepath, and he actually read those words in your mind and just said it out loud before you did, because that's what he does. Like, he is that special.
I don't like people in my mind.
You wasn't supposed to tell people that. You're supposed to keep that a secret.
It's out now, Newark, man. I'm sorry, dude. They're gonna come to you like Ask Cleo and all this good stuff, man.
Ask Cleo.
Well, Newark.
All my gaming predictions have come to pass, including that 5. Yeah. But yeah.
Don, I think he's hitting that hashtag 399, man.
Hey, I can always put that back up.
Yeah, that'd be fiction.
Well, Newark, I got to ask you, when it comes to PUBG, first of all, are you excited for this game on the Xbox One? And what do you think with this PC delay? Do you think it might possibly push back the game coming out on the X1, or maybe going in to the preview program, the early access that Xbox One does have on the console?
The preview program on the Xbox is not really a success to me, because most of the games that enter the preview program end up being a flop.
Well, they take forever, man.
they don't. Yeah, they don't. What's the name of that game? The weird game that came out
Ark?
and everybody previewed it. And no, not Ark.
Oh,
Ark, I consider Ark like some.
We Happy Few.
yeah, We Happy
We
Few.
Happy Few. Yeah,
I
and
still
that
want to
game
get
got
back into
bashed.
that. Like I don't consider that a flop quite yet. It's just that I don't. The game wasn't released yet, right? It's still in the early access. So
No, I thought it released.
Did it release?
No, it hadn't released.
Nah.
It hadn't released yet.
So I know they're still working on
Okay.
it, and you know we picked it up early with a lot of other people. Other people might have been disappointed, but it was only a fraction of the game that was there. I mean, that's what you get for that program, and I feel like over time, like the devs have been working on it. They've been listening to feedback from people who have the game, and the only thing about this program is that it takes a long time. Man, look at Ark, like just coming out. Within what is it? I believe it's August. It's going to be officially released. Ark's been in there for a while, man. So that's the only thing to me.
Dangerous. Not Elite Danger. What's the other game? Everspace is still in preview, but it's also a full release that got DLC already, but it's still in preview.
That's weird, man. When it gets DLC that you gotta pay for, and they did that with Ark too.
Yeah, they did.
I looked at my oldest son. He is an Ark fanatic. He's Ark and Overwatch, man. You give him those two games, like you won't see him come out of his room for a year. I swear, man. And when he told me that there was DLC coming out for Ark, I was like, but like, isn't that in early access? He's like, yeah, it's still in the early access. I was like, well, then the DLC is free, right? Because like usually when he says DLC, he'll just say an update or something like that. But when he says DLC, usually he's asking for money. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, it's free, right? He's like, no, it's like so much money. I was like, what? That doesn't make any kind of sense, man.
It doesn't.
But
man, let me go.
Go
ahead and get my piece in. As far as this PUBG, I think I read somewhere where this game is in fact coming to Xbox in-game preview. Now they may have the full release ready on PC and then just testing it out while it's in-game preview on the console, and then not too far after that release it, fully fledged on the console. But I do think it is hitting Xbox in-game preview. We'll just see. Now, part of the delay was they're trying to just add some new mechanics, like new armor, new maps, and then they're adding a vaulting system, like in a climbing system. Because right now, if you ever watch anybody or if you play like Dark's play, when you jump over like a small like cement or whatever it is, you kind of just jump over it. And it kind of looks lame. Yeah. You have these you can vault over it. So they're trying to add that. And they're adding a climbing mechanism. I think that was in the article. But I don't think this is in any way gonna stop the timetable in which they were gonna release it to the Xbox One X, or the Xbox One X, ecosystem. But I just think that it is coming to Xbox One in preview, and then it may not be that far after that it's released fully. But either way, the game is going to be Why
wouldn't they just release it fully if you're saying like a little time after that? I mean, it's like because what?
I don't know. I'm just as far as that, I'm just assuming. You know what I'm saying? But I do know that I've read several places where it's coming out to Xbox as a preview game. I know that. I was just assuming that with this delay, if they're coming out, if they're saying they're only delaying the PC version by a few months, then maybe it'll come out a preview not too long after that. You know what I'm saying? But I do know that it's coming to Xbox as a preview game.
That's amazing, Baines. And Baines, I gotta say, to me, that makes absolute sense, because if you look at it, the Xbox One X, they redid the whole memory and stuff like that, and it's real easy to port over a PC game over to that one, but that's just one part of a family of Xboxes, right? So if you have part of the development team working on getting that game to run on the original the original Xbox One, and stuff as a family of devices, it makes sense to me to put it into the preview. You know, if you have the One X, you're gonna have a smoother experience. You're gonna play the game better. But what they're gonna need to do is they're gonna need to do more work. You know,
on the S.
On the S.
Well, just so you know, the S has gotten a lot easier to develop on, because people keep forgetting the new SDKs regarding the X. It's both SDKs. It's the standard S model and the X, all rolled in.
But it's still going to take more work, though, man.
But it's a lot easier to port over. The tools are a lot better. Like, we're in a totally different spot in regards to the S now, like light years beyond when the console originally launched. So, like, it's dramatically quicker.
Oh, dude, Don, I am in no way saying that we are dealing with something like from like the past 3 years or whatever. I do definitely, especially, you know, talking to you, talking to other people in the industry, I do know the SDKs are incredible, right? When it comes to the One X and dealing with the S and porting over games. But I'm just saying that it's gonna still take more work either way, even if it's not a grand amount of work like it would have taken, you know, 2 years ago or whatnot. There's still going to be extra work that needs to be done.
Yeah, it's going to be extra work, but I don't think it's in the perspective that you're thinking. That's what I'm trying to illustrate. Right, trying to illustrate there. I mean, yes, you new platform, there's definitely more work, but
you guys like this human fall flat gameplay, right? Oh man,
I was about to ask about that too. I didn't want to interrupt, but I was like, "What is this?"
Human fall flat's on sale for like I think it's less than $10 right now on Xbox One. It is incredibly fun to play.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Baines is actually right. It is coming to the preview program in late 2017 for the Xbox One and Xbox One S, but it won't be coming to the Xbox One X until 2018. So,
that's a flip right there.
Yeah,
that's a big flip.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
Well, that also may not be updated either. So
yeah, it could be. Because I mean,
it's small team that's doing this stuff, right? It's a small team and a ridiculously ambitious game.
Well, that was posted 4 hours ago. So
okay, well, still a small team, incredibly ambitious game. The reality is, that combination is going to be delays. Just at the end of the day, regardless of what platform it comes on.
I'm still waiting for Gang Beasts on PS4, man. Don't tell me about small teams making games, man.
Small teams and ambitious. Those are the two that's going to make your games take longer to make.
Ambitious, but the game is just incredibly fun to play.
Well, not talking about Gang Beasts. You're the one that talks about that game, but I'm talking. I'm talking about PlayerUnknown's Battleground. I mean, it's not a game I'm even interested in, but from a technical standpoint, like what they're trying to do and what they're trying to accomplish, like it's very ambitious. It's ridiculously ambitious, and they're also a small team. So, like the combination of both that, I see everything that they're gonna release that game on is gonna get delayed. Everything S, X, when it hits PlayStation eventually down the road, if it does, and also PC. I just see delays happening with that sort of a big of a project.
Yeah,
it's just going to happen.
I mean, I can see it, and not for anything. We're getting kind of used to delays this generation. At least when there's a solid reason for it. And you know, talking to the Don, I am absolutely blessed to have the Don there to talk to about like gaming, you know, in the gaming industry, development and stuff like that. You know, kind of like at the drop of a hat, man. He is, you know, one of my best friends and stuff like that. You know, everybody on the panel is basically a close friend of mine, and it's nice.
Oh.
Yeah, you too, Newark. But but it's good to have that perspective of being in the industry, you know, to help me out when I'm kind of confused about certain things, like when certain games get delayed, like Don just said. Well, you have a small team, overly ambitious game, just don't expect it to come out at this date. There's gonna be delays. You know, get really pumped up when it comes out is basically what I would say.
Yeah, well, I would also say like things like preview program. I don't think that's for everybody. I'm gonna be just upfront about that. Like, more power to the people that do it, and my hat goes off to you guys because you're helping the industry grow and helping these teams do these titles that they normally probably couldn't do without programs like this. But at the end of the day, you really got to think this is an unfinished game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have a patience for an unfinished game, or you want that final product, or you're that type of customer, you might be better off waiting on something like that. And the reason why I say that is I want people to have the best possible experience, right? If that doesn't ruin their experience, then yeah, get early access, go for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if it may ruin a game for you, don't do it. The developer in that particular case, and that particular customer, it's worth it for that person to adopt later on, right? And have a good time with it, and be that advocate when it's the title's mature enough for them to play it. I mean, that's kind of my take on it as well. So
yeah, I got you. You know what's funny about getting like this early access program with Xbox games? For the most part, like we bought We Happy Few, and even though I haven't played it for a while, I know that they're still working on it. I know it's a title I'm still interested in. I know that when I go back in and try to play it, it's gonna have more content than when I first started playing it, when I first tried it out, and I first bought it. Right? I had an opposite effect with the game Ark. Like when the game first came out with Ark, right? I thought it was awesome. Yeah, was it glitchy? Was there frame drops and stuff like that? I was like, yeah, it's pretty bad, right? So after a while, I stopped playing it, and that was basically because the kids hounded me and O-Snaps so much to play it that when we played it with them, they would just start arguing and do all sorts of. I mean, one's 11 and the other one's 13, so they're doing all sorts of crazy stuff. They're trolling each other, and it just got crazy for us. So we stopped playing it for a while. We went back in to play it again, and I swear it performed so bad later on, like months later, that like it took the wind out of my sails, man. I am not even excited for the official release of this game right now, just for how bad like it felt months after we first got it. So it had an opposite effect.
Well, yeah, that doesn't surprise me with that game in general. The Unreal Engine was really never meant to run open world games of that nature, like a standard PS4 and a standard Xbox One, like at that scale. So he's doing a lot of custom work behind the scenes to make that game work the way it is. So I'm not surprised that as the game gets bigger, that it's having stability issues. Let's call it that.
Oh,
right?
Dude, man, it was horrible.
it doesn't, and sometimes games get worse before they get better. Sometimes that's part of the process too. So it's important for, I think, people that are involved in these programs to also understand that as well.
Nice. I believe we got everybody in on this subject when it came to PUBG. Is there anybody I missed? Because I am not the absolute perfect moderator. I forget people sometimes. My bad. But anybody else? Any final thoughts about PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds and this delay? Anything you want to add? Cricket?
I think it's going to be a great game, man. Like when it actually does come to Xbox, so just check it out.
Beautiful. Next on the list of topics is our boy Mikey Barra, man. There is a couple people within the Xbox underneath the Xbox umbrella that aren't afraid to put little tweets out there and stuff like that. And Mikey Barra, basically somebody asked him about gifting games digitally, and about that thing coming to the Xbox, and they said, I'm doing a loose quote here. It's like either something about really soon or not far off or whatever. Now, for people who don't know, they've been working on this program. It's kind of like you can do it with Steam already on the PC. You can buy a game digitally, and you can send it to one of your friends or something like that. So I can buy a game, and I can send it to like my oldest son. I can send it to his gamer tag. He would get the code. I would pay the game. There's no bad wrapping paper and stuff because I can't wrap a gift or anything like that. There's no bad wrapping paper or anything like that, and it just goes straight to his system. Really cool feature, and they're teasing that it might be coming out soon. So, yo, Newark, what do you think about this digital game gifting feature? And do you think it'll be out by, I don't know, this holiday?
Newark? Aaron Greenberg, no, Mikey Barber. He said very soon. So
very soon,
and I can't wait for it so I can stop game sharing with my son. I can't wait.
So you're gonna buy me a game? Is that what you said, Newark? We'll test it out, man.
I'm gonna do is my son. I have almost 300 games on my Xbox, right?
Mm-hmm.
On my hard drive, and I game share with my son, so I won't have to buy 2 games. One game, 200 and something games.
Newark, you are buying right now, man.
I'm going to him the game that he likes.
Newark, my bad.
Hold on.
We didn't hear anything
could you hear me?
Were saying. We didn't hear anything you were saying, man.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
All right, my bad. I'm all the way in the backyard. Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, it's
I said,
bad.
My son.
My bad, dude. It's still bad. You might want to back out, come back in, and then you can definitely share your thoughts about the digital game gifting, if that's cool, man.
Yeah, but the gifting thing, it kind of wraps.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, can y'all hear me?
Did you jump out?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Nah, I had to I came all the way in my house to stand right next to my modem.
Dude, why are you wandering around, man?
Hey, he cooking that salmon. Steve.
Because I do the same thing every week, man.
Yeah.
Little known fact: New York barbecues in a kilt. I don't know why.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
All right, so Newark, what were you saying about the digital gifting?
No, I said I game share with my son, and I said I have almost 300 games on my hard drive, and he only plays 1. So I said I would gift him the game he likes, sharing with him.
All right, but that means you would have to buy it again.
We don't play the same games. I don't play what he play.
Okay. All right, so you're just looking at it like you'll be able to buy whatever game he wants and just gift it to him instead of game sharing. But if you are game sharing, you're gonna have to cut that off, or otherwise that game's gonna automatically download to your Xbox anyway.
Nah, what I'm saying is if I stop game sharing with him, he won't have access to none of my titles.
Okay.
But I can game share with someone else and split the bill or whatever.
Got you. I got
basically.
You. Nice. Well, yo, let's hit.
But the gifting thing is great, man. Hold on 1 second. The gifting thing is great. My bad. The gifting thing is great because like we all have tons of that we don't play no more, and we could just give them to someone, or maybe someone want to start up their own marketplace. I'm
not sure if you can gift games you already played though, man. You have to buy them new from the store and probably mark them as a gift, and then put the game tag in.
I mean, but that's not what I got from it though. I'm saying you can, like on the 360 or whatever, you can gift.
Dude, you're breaking up again. Walk back towards the water, man.
Look, I'm gonna leave out and I'm gonna leave out the podcast and come back in because I'm still standing in the same spot.
All right, no doubt, brother, man. I am kind of scared though. Yeah, I feel you gonna roast me, yo. Well, while he's doing that, yo, Ottemis, what do you think about game gifting? I know, man, you are very kind of like involved with the community, and you do like to give to people at certain points in time and stuff like that. So are you pretty excited for this? And do you think it's gonna come out by like this holiday, man?
I think it will come out this holiday. It'll be definitely easier to gift games to people than just going on to Amazon or whatever like that and getting them the game. Especially if they ask for an Xbox game, it's just going to be a hell of a lot easier. this is a good thing. You know, I probably won't use it as often. But you know, when I do, you know, expect, you know, it to be, you know, something new or whatever, you know, or being used to you know, kind of, you know, gift friends or whatever games and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
Oh,
Definitely.
it's definitely a good thing. Do you think do you think there's any way, like, I know Nintendo, like, Nintendo is that special cousin at a family reunion that's over in the corner playing with the blocks, doing his own thing, and everybody just like, oh, that's adorable, and stuff like that. So we're not even going to talk about Nintendo. Do you think there's any way that Sony might be able to implement some type of like digital gifting this same way, and do you think they might do it?
Well, if it's very popular on the Xbox, and it's really, like, you know, showing that the Xbox has something there that they don't have, of course they're gonna do it, because they're thinking to themselves, well, we got to kind of, you know, beat our competition, even though they say they're not competition with them. But yeah, I think they'll definitely come up with something to do. I know they do the PlayStation Now. But I mean, you know, that's completely different.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, it's just like I it's hard to say with
now
Sony.
you could
That's
gift
the thing.
monthly subscriptions to your
But
friends.
right, but that's the thing. It's so you know, iffy with Sony, because you just don't know what's going on over there. You just don't. You know, all they do is just talk about the games, and that's it. You don't know what's going on with the system and stuff like that. It's almost as if they don't care about the system. They just kind of like, oh, we're just gonna throw games at you, kind of, you know, smoke and mirrors, like you say.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if they would do that just because of, like, within recent history, like with EA Access or whatnot. Like, they basically said no to EA, that it wasn't a good
That's
deal
true.
for them.
Yeah.
Now I do understand that it kind of, they looked at it as a threat to their PlayStation Now, which you had just previously brought up. And so they had to kind of cover it up and be like, well, it's not a good value to, you know, our consumers or whatnot, which is, in all actuality, straight up bullshit. All right. But they have a tendency to possibly not follow. You know what I'm saying? In certain areas where you would expect them to. So I don't think, even if it's popular, myself, I don't think it's a given that they would try to find a way to follow suit with that, man.
Yeah. I mean, it just depends on what they're thinking in their minds.
Their mood for the day.
Yeah, I mean, it's always so all over the place. You know, they're like, you know, no offense to anybody who's bipolar, but they're kind of bipolar. You know, they're like John Rambo. You know, like freaking, you know, going off the rails. It's just, you know, you never know what's going on over there, in terms of, you know, what they're gonna do for their customer service and, you know, helping their customers out. I mean, it would be a good thing for them to do it. I think, you know, because some of these.
I think this is going to blow up. I think this is going to be huge. Like,
because I mean, on Steam, it's kind of huge already. You know, it's already pretty huge on Steam, and people are always gifting, you know, games to people and stuff like that. I can't see them.
I have a question.
Hey, Newark, welcome back, brother man.
We're gonna try this again. So the game gifting would be like you buy something new and gift it to someone.
Yeah. It's not an existing game that you have in your library. I don't believe.
Yeah, the reason why I thought it was an existing game, because in the same conversation when I read about it, they was talking about you know, like the idea of selling the games back to Microsoft. You know.
Well, yeah, I
so that's what made me bring that up. But I wish.
Go ahead, Newark.
I wish it was like that, but I'm not buying anyone nothing. Like in that case, I just buy them some damn Microsoft points.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, man. I don't know. Well, Newark, we kind of crossed the into talking about whether or not, if this is successful, which I think it's going to be successful, at least within like the gaming community that we're in, like on Twitter and Facebook and everything like that. I think a lot of people are going to take advantage of, you know, digital gifting, you know, within the community and stuff. But do you think that if it becomes popular, that Sony might take a look at that and try to find a way to do it on the PS4 platform, man?
change a damn gamer tag. Hell no, greatness awaits, man. If so, it's gonna be a long time.
Oh goodness.
They're just getting external hard drives.
Damn, didn't they say you're gonna be able to change your gamer tag like in a very like in an update that's coming like really soon or something like that?
No, PlayStation 7 is game. PSN before I get my PS4 is Nook and J360. You know, none of that. But I picked the gamer tag that I know I'm the same as my Xbox or whatever. But a lot of people got theirs from the PS3 days. They want to change it, and Sony adopt like the latest things. Like it takes so long to do it.
Yeah, I got you, man.
They they want to pick what's best for the gamers. But they think they know what's best for the gamers, but they don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? Like in that case, Sony would have EA access and all that other stuff.
When it comes to crossplay, let's just be honest. You have to protect your gamers from those crazy people over on Nintendo's platform, man. You know, like all those, like, yeah, it's bullshit, yo. Anyway. Yo, Don, what do you think about this digital gifting, and do you think it could possibly come by this holiday? I mean, that would be huge. Like, you're coming out with brand new, powerful hardware. You got games like Crackdown 3, a huge lineup of third-party titles coming out. To be able to gift them digitally, like that would be huge. Like for the holidays, do you think they'll come out with it by the holiday, man?
I think it's definitely possible. I'm kind of curious what Microsoft's kind of slant on it, how it's done. Is it tied to gamer tags, all that sort of stuff? But at the end of the day, it's something that has existed on Steam for a while, and people like it. In regards to that, I've had people send me digital codes from Amazon before, right? And I never asked for it. I never eBayed for it. It just happened, right?
You didn't mooch it, man? Dude,
I didn't mooch it. I didn't mooch it. I'm not gonna intentionally go after. If someone wants to gift something, that's great. And I look at it also from the perspective of publishers and small indie teams and all this other stuff. Like, sometimes people don't have the means to purchase something, but we live in a generous community, right? Where they will want to buy something for somebody. Or if there's a multiplayer game and you're enjoying it and you want to hook a buddy up. I was just talking to somebody on Xbox Live. His name is Buddha. He bought, what was the new Epic game? Fortnite?
Yeah.
And there's a particular package. There's a couple different bundles you can buy. And he went out of his way to make sure he doesn't buy a ton of games a year because he's buying an X this year. So, he, just like any of us, he has a budget, right? But he bought the higher end version of Fortnite because it came with not only the main copy of the game and all the little perks, but it came with a second copy that you can gift to a friend.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
cool.
So he bought, that's a perfect example where somebody like he could have took the extra money and bought something else, but that's a game that's a multiplayer game. He knows there's one of his buddies will pass on it because they just don't want to spend the money, all right? And he wants that gift and it literally in his back pocket. So when he's playing with a buddy, he goes, "Hey, let's do Fortnite." And it's like, I didn't buy it. I'm not going to buy that game. I'm going to get this and this. He can just send that gift right over to him, right?
Yeah.
That's huge, in regards to that. And it creates less barriers. It creates more means for people to hook people up. I think it's a great thing for the industry. It's something Steam, we can look at all platforms, Xbox, we can look at PC, and we can look at PlayStation. And realistically, there are some that competition that we always talk and brag about. If we actually let it happen, we're going to get good things like what we're seeing with gifting. And I think PlayStation is going to eventually do it. I don't know how high it is on their priority list, but I think eventually they will do it. And the reason why I say that is that means more sales for them on their platform at the end of the day.
Don't y'all think this part of something big though? Like, I think Microsoft is treating it like a new console launch because this fall they also got the new avatars and like And I think the gifting is going to be part of that. I think it's going to be a whole new Microsoft and a whole new Xbox.
I think they're going to try to relaunch the brand a little bit. They did it with the S last year, and I think they're going to do a little bit more of it this year. I think you're onto something there in New York. To what degree, I don't know though.
Nice. I mean, what all said and done, like, between me and Old Snaps, we have 4 boys. All right, 3 of them live with us, and one of them lives like a few towns away. Right. I like this idea. I like the idea of, at a whim, the one who doesn't live with us, Tyler. I can think, man, it'd be really cool if Tyler was in on this game with me right now. Go to the store, pick up a pick up a code for it, and mark it as a gift, and then just send it to his gamer tag.
Isn't Tyler your son that had
some Microsoft points?
Hold on, Newark. What's up, Don?
Wasn't Tyler your son that you played Crackdown 2 with?
No, that was Justin, aka Mad Skills.
Well, let's just pretend that's Justin over there, just for a sec. You imagine Crackdown 3 comes out, right? Mm-hmm. Your son doesn't live with you because of your living situation, right? And you can just gift him that, and you can continue on that experience that you have that bonding moment, right? Yeah. That's what this sort of stuff means, and it's essential because we're going away from hard copies, right? We're going away from giving a disc
that's
to somebody.
That's a given, guys. Like,
yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's why I think these sort of things are kind of essential.
Yeah, definitely, and it's good to see. At the end of the day, I believe that Xbox and PlayStation have the same kind of like long-term goal in mind. It's even going beyond digital games, and like I said, long-term goal. So I don't want everybody like pissing in my Cheerios after I say this, but they want to go streaming is what they want to do. It's a reduction in manufacturing costs if they just have to do kind of like a lightweight hardware hub, or even just stream directly to the TV when it comes to games, right? But in the meantime, you have that evolution from physical to getting into all digital and stuff like that. And whenever you switch to a new media, there's new features to be taken advantage of. You know what I'm saying? Like when we switched from VHS to DVDs, all of a sudden we had like this menu that would pop up before the movie played, and we can choose all sorts of special features and stuff like that. So whenever you see a changing of media, you're going to see new features kind of like evolve out of that. And I think digital game gifting is a no-brainer when you see the industry going basically into just digital games. And I feel it's nothing but a positive. I hope it runs smoothly though. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only other thing. The transition from the key from your name when you mark it as a gift to the other gamer tag that you're gifting it to, as long as I don't see any problems going, up front when it first launches. I don't think that is a tough thing to do. But it's been successful on Steam, and I feel it's gonna really thrive on Xbox and that console platform. And so, Don, you think eventually Sony is gonna get there as well, huh?
I think it's gonna get there. I don't agree with you on the streaming like digital front between the two consoles. I think they both have a different approach. I think Sony is gonna go more of the stream approach, and I think Microsoft has looked at the numbers and where games are growing, and the reality is I think they realize it's less taxing on their end, and it costs less just for the consumer to subsidize the cost with a piece of hardware. It does cost a lot to develop, but once you develop the hardware, you're subsidizing the cost through that versus through more servers. Versus through more servers.
They already got a shitload of servers though, and they use them for multiple things within their corporation. It's not just gaming.
I get that. I understand that, but there's a reason why they are going a slightly different approach.
They're just taking longer. That's all they're doing. They're just taking the longer road. That's all they're doing.
Listen here. There's a physics thing you can't get around. And it's called the speed of light. When you don't have the server in your backyard, there's substantial latency. Regardless of what technology is going forward, there's substantial latency and there's compression. So it's gonna hit a certain segment, a certain small market, but it's not ever going to take over. But on the other front, yeah, I think Sony is going to go the gifting route in regards to this because it just means more game sales for them at the end of the day.
Nice.
And I think developers are going to push them to do it too as well because they realize they're going to be missing out on sales if the platform doesn't have it.
Awesome, man. Yo, Baines, did you speak on this yet, man? I know.
Well, man. I mean, to me, it's the main thing is that Microsoft is doing more things to draw you into their ecosystem, to make you more comfortable within their ecosystem and not want to go anywhere, right?
Yeah.
I think the only cog that's left is for them to develop some type of mechanism for you to trade in games. You know what I'm saying? And then this whole thing will be complete. You know, you have your Game Pass, you have your digital refunds, you have your digital gifting. And then at the end of the day, you will have your digital, turn in, or, the system that GameStop has, you know what I'm saying? So this is just one more cog in the whole ecosystem to make you more comfortable. Mm-hmm. And if these other ones like Nintendo and PlayStation don't want to get left behind, they will eventually add something like this. Yeah.
I got you, but when it comes to Nintendo, man, you already know you can never guess what
they're
gonna do. They just, but the thing is, what they do, except for the Wii U, and even to points with the Wii U. Now the Wii U hardware wise might not, it didn't sell well, right? But their exclusives, even though there was a limited number of hardware that was sold out there, their exclusives still freaking sold, man. You still had constantly up over 1 million within like a very small amount of time when it came to the Wii U and exclusive games.
Statistically, they have the highest attach rate with their exclusives to their hardware than anybody on the market.
Honestly, I kind of want to touch on something here. I think this is going to be good for people who haven't played like the exclusive games on Xbox, and I think it's going to get more sales for those kind of games because I think people are going to be like, "Oh, you haven't played that game yet? Here you go, gifted." basically.
You're trying to say Sunset Overdrive is trash? Is that's why you didn't buy it, right?
No, I bought that.
No. I'm putting out maybe a theory here. Like you're just talking to somebody. Oh, you thought Sunset Overdrive was trash and you didn't buy it. You didn't want to spend the money on it. Well, guess what? I'll gift it to you right now. And you play it, man. I'll be in the party. You just play it for a while and let me know what you think. I can see a lot of scenarios like that, man.
Exactly.
Great point, dude. Great point. At the end of the day, like I said, new media, new features. This is something that I know me, O-Snaps, and the rest of the family will definitely take advantage of. I'm pretty sure because the way that Microsoft works, the way that Xbox works, I'm going to let, the kids' grandparents know, they could just go on to xbox.com and they'll probably be able to do it that way, right to their gamer tag and stuff like that. And it'll make things a lot easier. And I am down for easy because I am a lazy bastard.
Yes, we know.
Yeah. Well, we all know. But guys, that's pretty much it for the show. We went through the topics. We had a bunch of really, really great opinions on the stuff that's been going down. I love talking about Halo, all that good stuff. And I think the only thing that's left is to let our guests, Mr. MBanes, Mr. Dark Goldblum. Yo, guys, we've had an absolute blast tonight on this show. You guys did a hell of a job. I think we had a killer show tonight. Let's start with Dark Ottemis. Yo, Dark, why don't you we got to get the plugs in, man, like a 40-year-old with a comb over. Why don't you let everybody know where they can get a hold of you, anything you might be doing, man. I think you know the deal.
I do know the deal, and thank you, Sinead Ponybot, for having me on. No, I appreciate it, man. I always love coming to the next podcast. You guys always make me feel like I'm at home. You guys can find me on Twitter at Dark Ottemis. You can also find me on Xbox Live at the same name. And also, every Thursday night, you can find me on the Quest podcast at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific time, and it was a fun show, man. I'm absolutely happy to be on tonight.
Nice, man. Like, yo, I gotta say, man, there's like this kind of like this brother thing going on when it comes to, you know, Quest podcast, Next podcast, Dark Ottemis. I've called on him basically a half hour. Like, it had to be like a half hour before his show. Like, dude, I need I need somebody to come on real quick, man. And like, no matter what, yo, you. Remix, yo, Banes, you guys look out for us, you know, we look out for you, and that's the way it's supposed to be, man. We are a community, we watch each other's backs, we'll help each other grow, and who knows where we'll be a couple years from now, man. You know,
exactly.
It's a real good thing, man. Let me talk to my boy MBanes real quick, man. And yo, Banes, like, not for anything, man, like I said, it's been a long time coming. I've wanted to get you on the show. Dude, you did not disappoint, man. You took these topics and you made them your own, man. You put them in the headlock, did everything. Absolute great show, man. Thank you so much for coming on. I know this is your first appearance. Hopefully, it won't be your last. And you got it. I know you got like a short list, man. You don't like to plug too much, but go ahead.
I don't plug too much. Yeah, man. I appreciate the invite. You know what I'm saying? I really enjoyed myself on the show. Appreciate being here with you, Newark, and Don. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm honored to be here with you guys. Y'all been running for a while. We just started.
Oh man, that makes me feel so touched.
And you know what I'm saying? And again, by like anytime that we call on you, it's like, you know, it's nothing. You there. It's like I'm there. Don't even, you know, get the chair warm. I mean, the chair already warm for you. You just come in and sit right down. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I really appreciate it, man. And, you know, you can find me MBanes 99, PlayStation, Xbox, Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern on the Quest podcast. And, you know, that's it for me.
Nice. Yeah, guys, definitely check out the next podcast, the Quest podcast. I'm like, next podcast. Check out the Quest podcast. Like I said, every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern. This past episode, you might want to check it out. I think I went a little crazy. As a special guest, I tried to take over as a host, and Dark Ottemis, man, he was getting really mad at me. So,
I can never be mad at you, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you did your thing on the show, and
it was a great show, man.
Always,
it was fun.
Hey, shout out one real quick. Shout out to Bot, because sometimes we'll talk and we'll be like, hey man, we really have these topics. You know, they're not really meaty topics. You know what I'm saying? They might go real fast. Bot would turn a 1 minute topic into a 10-minute topic, and we'd be like, yes, Bot.
Well, dude,
so shout out to Bot.
Yo, when it comes to gaming news, man, I look at it like it's a chain, man. We're talking about one link, but what happens with this link, you know, comparing to the next link on the chain? And there's always more to talk about. Like, for people who don't know, behind the scenes from podcasts, like you'll hear from time to time in the DMs, they'll be like, "Wow, it's a slow like news week for gaming," and I try to tell people there's never a slow news week for gaming. Like if you don't have the new hottest topic popping off, and I think MBanes knows this, man, because he goes in and he finds some of the coolest articles to talk about. There's always something out there, and if you can't really find anything like that, man, why don't you go into something cultural about gaming? You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
Yo, there's a bunch of like female gamers coming out, and I hate saying female gamers because I like just saying gamers, man. I don't like making subcategories and stuff like that. But there's a lot more gamers that are female that are coming out onto YouTube. Of course, they've been on Twitch streamers and stuff like that, but a lot of them with really valid opinions, and to see the gaming community grow in that aspect is awesome, and it could be its own podcast for a 2-hour show, and still, you wouldn't have everything said about it. So there's always something to talk about, guys.
Yes, sir.
All right. With that being said, my brother Newark, man. I hope everything worked out with your grill, all that good stuff, man. Are you there, sir?
I'm here. I'm just finishing up, man.
So you have planned it out to be able to grill the entire time you're on the show. Is that what you're trying to say, man?
Yep.
Oh, that's
Yep.
crazy.
Hashtag salmon.
Salmon. That's what's up.
Oh my gosh, salmon! Damn it.
Yo, guys, if you really enjoyed tonight's episode, hit up Twitter with hashtag Salmon. All right, I want to know. Yeah, all right. But yo, Newark, why don't you let people know how they can get a hold of you? The different social groups that you're kind of like leading or kind of like operating. Man, you know the deal.
Holla at me on Halo 5, gamer tag NorkNJ360 on Twitter. NorkNJ. News for Xbox Gamers on Facebook. Us News for Xbox Gamers for the ones who still give it Xbox clubs.
Damn, yeah, I know, man. Xbox clubs have gone kind of like gone the way of the tumbleweed, man. Like, I don't know. There's certain groups like they put me in the co-stream group for being in the preview program and using Mixer and stuff like that. But a lot of those clubs that people started, man, including Next, man, and I share a part of that. Like, I haven't really gone in there and kept up to date with that, and that I'll share that, no doubt. But for people, what up, dude?
Yeah, the Xbox clubs got like the Android marketplace. Like, you'll have 1 million clubs of any name of something, with just one person in there. Like they gotta fix that, man. Like, they have to fix that. Like, it's so many clubs, man. Like, so many trash clubs with just the admin in there, and that's it. But it's millions of clubs like with no purpose.
Yo, Newark, your buddy Jack is messing with you in the chat right now.
What happened?
Yo, check the chat. Yo, Jack messing with you right now over salmon. Salmonella.
Oh, salmon?
Oh, man. Yeah,
Salmonella.
Absolutely love the chat. Yo, as much as people think we're entertaining over here talking about topics, I love watching the chat as we're doing this as well, because you guys that come and check us out live, you guys are as entertaining to me with some of the stuff you talk about. Just seeing you guys come closer together as like friends and gamers and stuff like that as well definitely means a lot to me. If you guys didn't hear, because Newark is trying to be the new Xbot, and he was kind of breaking up a little bit, botting out. You can find Newark on Twitter at NewarkNJ360. His gamer tag is at NewarkNJ360. Yo, hit him up. Halo 5 Breakout. I'm pretty sure he'd be down to play, man. Send him invites. You know what? If he doesn't answer the first invite, spam his ass. Yo, you got.
Nah, the thing is with Halo 5, like I'll do good, and people would get mad, and they would kill their own teammate, and I report the shit out of them, and Microsoft listens to me, and I will report them, and I will block the shit out of them. But I like, it's so much hate in Halo 5. Like, I get killed by other teammates, and like, it's crazy, man. Like, some of the messages I'll be getting.
Damn.
But it's cool.
Damn. All right, brother, man. And
that's why I snitch on Xbox.
He's an Xbox snitch. Yeah. But I would say not only that, but he is in charge of a group on Facebook on Facebook, Xbox News for Xbox Gamers. You guys might have seen Kelvin Brandon in the chat. He is definitely a member of that group as well. You could get a bunch of awesome Xbox information from that group. So if you have Facebook, remember, Xbox News for Xbox Gamers. Yo, get there and be a part of that community as well. And if you're still doing clubs, man, Newark's got your back with Xbox News for Xbox Gamers on Xbox as well. Yo, Don, man, we had a bunch of good conversation, man. All of a sudden, you're putting out more videos on YouTube. What's going on here, man?
Yeah, things are changing, right? I know I was going to start releasing some artwork on my project, on my game that I'm working
Yeah, I
on.
like your B shadows render, man.
I knew
The
he was gonna
textures was
say
nice
it.
on that.
I knew he was gonna say it. Yeah.
The
It's not,
textures are
no B
amazing on
shadows.
there.
Come on. You know what's funny?
Nah,
That's not a 4K texture, believe it or not. That's a 1080 render as well.
Ooh.
wow, because
So
you said zoom in, and I clicked on the pic, and I was like, wow.
yeah, what I did is that's one of the tricks. I did a low resolution color map, but did a really high resolution version of a normal map, right? So I run the two different texture maps that go on the model at different resolutions, and that's the type of results I got. And that was running on Engine. That was on Unreal Engine, running on a similar piece of hardware to a standard Xbox.
Nice, dude. You are becoming a real big fan of the Unreal Engine, right, man?
Well, more and more you work with one engine or another, right? You tend to become a fan because you know it more ins and outs and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm a big fan of it. I think that one's got the most potential out of all of them, and if anyone's willing to put in the time on that engine, I think you're just going to get better results out of most of the third-party engines out there. So
Nice, man. Well, you know the deal, man. You gotta let people know, where your content is, how people can find you, your Twitter handle, all that good stuff, dude.
yeah, absolutely. So the Twitter handle is down below. It's the Don underscore KTR. It's same as my gamer tag, but there's no underscore, just a space. If you want to follow me there, you can follow me on Twitter, all that sort of stuff. I'm about to approach 500 on Twitter, so and these are loyal fans. None of those fly by night fans. These are real fans, and I'm happy to have 5 followers
Hey, you
to
gotta say
500
no
followers.
eggs, because you know a lot of people got a lot of eggs.
Yeah, no eggs. And I got the real deal on me, so I'm excited about that. To be honest with you, because it's not about the sheer number; it's about reaching out to the people that you really want to reach out to, that sort of thing. And the same thing with my YouTube channel, which is Happy Little Polygons. You get to see behind the work scenes are going to be happening with Project Pimp Cup, which is the game that I'm working on right now.
Project Pimp Cup.
That is the code name. That is the code name of the game.
Did you expect anything less? Yo,
No,
come
I
on.
didn't. I didn't.
I'm gonna start having time lapse videos of stats and things like that pop up here and there, but to keep the content consistent, people have been requesting more opinion pieces. It's a little bit harder for me to come up with ideas because less of the console war stuff and more of just getting people to think about the other side of gaming and what happens. So I've committed to at least one video a week, and the newest one is on transparency with your customer. So if you want to go check it out, it's on Happy Little Polygons, and if you like it, great. If you don't, hit the thumbs down. If you want to subscribe. It's all up to you. Like, it doesn't matter. You do what you want on that channel when you watch it. So
Nice. Well, Don, let me just offer my services. If you're running short on your promise with at least one per week, and you want to go in on a live show, man, if I am available, usually that's kind of like later at night, which might actually work for you in Utah or whatnot. But just let me know, man. We'll go in and we'll talk about something together, yo. You know what I'm saying?
we might just do maybe a live show with me doing graphic work in the background with OBS.
And I'll sing random Madonna hits from the 80s.
That would be a show.
He's just living up to his name.
Watch for sure.
Awesome. And again, guys, huge shout out to my boy El Mega, who's sitting there on the sand sipping on his girly drink with the umbrella. Resting his thumbs because they are very tender right now. Huge shout out to my bro Fooskies, the golden voice of the next podcast, out there doing his thing for his family, man, because family comes first above all. And of course, oh snap, it's Mel out there peddling cookies. Again, working crazy hours, doing what she has to do, and making her store basically one of the top in that company. So huge shout out to all of them. They are the next podcast family, as well as everybody out in the chat. Yo, guys, thank you so much. We had close to 100 people watching, for this show. I really do appreciate it. The community has supported my channel, this show, and me just so much. It means a lot to me. I can't even explain it. My channel just hit over 300,000 views. And it was one of my kind of like milestones. I didn't
nice.
I didn't even think first starting my YouTube channel, I had no idea where it would go, and I wasn't doing it just for all that, for the numbers and everything like that. I do it because I love gaming. I wanted to put common sense back into the gaming industry, because the beginning of this generation, it just, the gaming news just went out of control. And it was hard to find actual, gaming news that was fair, it was balanced, and everything like that. And that's when, I started my channel, and to see the support that has gone on throughout this time. And you guys mean the world to me. You are an extended part of my family, and I thank all of you. Everybody who is a moderator, everybody who hits the thumb up on my videos, the thumb down on my videos, puts in comments. Yo, guys, I don't think I can ever tell you in words how much that all means to me, man. But it's been a great ride, and it's still growing, and I am not going anywhere, and I don't think anybody on this panel is. So, but it is Saturday, and you guys definitely want a game. I'm getting a little emotional right now, but
so you're gonna have a hard time topping that next week.
But, everybody, I'm not gonna try to top it, man. Thank you.
Okay.
Yo, Newark, Newark, Don, you guys don't know about this, but everybody in the chat, when it comes to next week, unfortunately, we will not have a next podcast next Saturday. Maybe do it earlier. I haven't talked to the panel yet, but I am going camping with the family. So,
nice.
We got a nice camping spot. We're gonna be gone Friday and Saturday, so I gotta let Mooch know. We'll just keep it between me, the panel, and everybody else in the chat until I let Mooch know that, unfortunately, I won't be on Crossfire either. But we're about to go and celebrate. Believe it or not, the two oldest, they both have the same birth date. They're both July 15th. So
that's cool.
To your twins?
No, it's not the twins. It's not the twins.
Hey, Von Day birthday is July 17th.
What? You guys
we throwing him a pool. We throwing him a pool party.
You can just throw us a pool. Just ship it on over here, and we'll be happy.
Hey, yo, we right there all together. My oldest baby's birthday is July the 12th.
Oh,
wow,
that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That says something about us around July, but
telling you.
9 months before July. But yeah, so we won't have it next week. But don't get scared. Don't worry. Next podcast is here. It's just one vacation, and then we're gonna hit the ground running the week after. So, guys, have a great night gaming tonight. And like I always say at the end of every show, we'll catch you 2 Saturdays from now on the next podcast. Yo,
Don't
guys,
worry about it. We got this.
Yeah, have a great weekend, guys, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Peace.
Bye.